I don't know if Dreev meant for that to happen to his F
Oh, he could play
pawn.
knight H. Oh, he couldn't play knight H6. That's right. And he gets his pawn back.
All right.
Having less than 10 seconds makes fools of us all.
That's the next reversal. And the king got out of knight e3. Clever. Wow, Ravuri, not to be trifled with. Uh-oh, back in your box or give me the H-pawn. What will it be? Back in the box. Good call. Uh-oh, knight f3. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pacific Division and more Pro Chess League action. How are you doing, Ben?
Great, David. I feel a lot better than last week. In fact, I feel so much better. I decided not to go to the ER tonight.
Excellent.
And hang out with you instead.
Excellent. Well,
we were both in the hospital last week. A very strange week.
I hope that my company is a step up from the ER, but maybe the triage nurse had a great bedside manner.
We'll find out. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I feel a lot better than last week. Thanks. And congratulations on the new addition to your family.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
The more the merrier.
So today in the Pacific, we have a playoff spot up for grabs. We have relegation on the line for Hikaru Nakamura and his Seattle Sluggers, and a host of top chess players, including world number 2 Shakhriyar Mamedyarov.
Well, Seattle really brought their A team today, so if they're going to avoid anything bad, it looks like this is the team to do it.
Yeah, let me show everybody their A team. Down here, you can all see the pairings for today between the Seattle Sluggers and the Chengdu Pandas. And the Seattle Sluggers have brought out a lineup with both Hikaru Nakamura and Gabriel Sargissian for the first time as far as I can remember. So, I don't know. Have you seen this lineup before?
I thought I saw it once, but now they got a Grandmaster on board 3 as well, so they're serious today.
Yeah. I saw them once run Mikalevsky on board 2 and Mark Velashvili on board 3. So a 3 GM lineup with Hikaru I've seen before, but not with Nakamura and Sargissian. That's
a tough lineup.
2 top heavy hitters. And the Pandas, last week they played 2 2700s. This week they're only playing 1, so they're going with 1 heavy hitter plus 2 GMs plus a low board 4. And for once, they're outrated by this Sluggers lineup.
That's right, but you could never underestimate the board 4. Churu Tong is quite the player. It's a formidable lineup, especially with Yangyi on board 1. Yeah, that's the match with the 2 highest rated teams, both with an average over 2,500, both having female players on the team and players over 2,700 FIDE, which adds to the rating.
Yeah.
Benefit there.
All right, so I'm going to switch over to the standings for a second here from the pairings so that you can all see what's on the line for these teams here. And you'll see the Seattle Sluggers are 1 game ahead of the Rio Grande Ospreys. So they need to draw their match to guarantee staying in the league for the next season, or have the Osprey not win. And since they're up against Chengdu, it could be a squeaker for them. So they brought out a really strong team to try and achieve that.
It just shows you how tough the league is that a team with very strong GMs on the top 3 boards is trying to stay in the league.
Yeah, sure does. And then, of course, for those thinking about the championship, it's all about getting into the playoffs. And getting into the playoffs, we have 3 teams here vying for the final playoff spot: the Dallas Destiny, the Australia Kangaroos, and the San Jose Hackers. If the Hackers win, they could get to 5.5, 3.5, which means they could pass the Kangaroos or tie the Kangaroos. They could catch up with the Destiny, and with San Jose's tiebreak points, they'd have a good chance if they won a match of then also winning on tiebreak. So I think the Destiny and the Kangaroos are going to want to not lose today to keep the Hackers at bay.
Yeah, it's a big fight for a playoff spot, and you're right. Those Hackers have some great tie breaks. If they could even tie for a spot, they'll get in for sure.
Yeah. All right, so moving to the chess, we have here the board 1 of the Dallas Destiny, and this team has been making it to the playoffs often with great performances from Grandmaster Julio Sadorra. He has not gotten a ton of screen time from us. So here's a look at a game of his to start us off today. This guy's been a very, very resourceful player. And, you know, for a board 1 at 2574, he's not super high rated. And he has, you know, performed very well despite that.
Yeah, Julio's a tough player. And obviously playing the board 4 at the first match, which we always see the board 1 matched up with the board 4, it's very important to start off well. And they got a very double-edged kind of position, which I'm sure is to Sadorra's liking. And it seems like he's always has interesting positions against players who you would assume are stronger due to their higher rating on board 1. But Julio seems to get a lot of good positions, and he's a big fighter. So you can never discount any of the board 1s, but especially Julio Sadorra.
Here, seeing a knight on h3 and a pawn on f4, we can immediately guess that it's white who's done a lot of the lion's share of the work of creating a weird position. It's a fun little exercise for you all to guess when you see this position what sort of opening it came from. And I will reveal the answer to you in a second. But
it's funny, probably would be difficult to guess that if you hadn't seen the game that white had also already played knight a3.
Knight to a3 already.
That's funny.
Yeah. So check this opening out by white just because it's rather unusual, and that's always fun to see something a little bit different. Starts with the bird Larsen, the Nimzovich Larsen with b3 and then immediate pressure on the e5 point. And black plays bishop d6 instead of d6. It looks like a clumsy move, but it's actually pretty strong. A lot of GMs like to play like this. And the reason is that black's anticipating white will trade on c6, and when they take back, their bishop can get out, and so the bishop won't be blocking the d-pawn. And if white doesn't trade on c6, well, then what did they put their bishop on b5 for, right? Where's it? You know, white's going to be losing time moving that bishop as well. So knight to a3 from white, the idea being to go to c4 and increase the pressure on this odd configuration of pieces. So preventative defensive knight a5. This is a string of moves you will not see every day in Grandmaster chess, just today.
I've seen it before too, so that shows you what I know.
Oh, wow. Okay, you know a lot.
I play b3 a lot with white, so I've had this position.
All right, so black is doing everything he can to stop knight c4, huh?
Yeah.
And the castle, and the knight is done on a3. Well, I guess it was about to get captured, so its work there was done. It got black to play like 4 weird moves.
Greg Shahadi would be proud, our commissioner. He likes when you play knight b1.
Does he? That's true. I've heard that. I've seen that from him before. All right, so white plays f4, trying to open a new front. I mean, it's just very logical to try and work with this bishop, and at the same time, you're working with your rook. So everything here is logical. The knight on h3 is a little bit odd, but it has opportunities at g5 and f4. So on it goes, boom, boom, boom. The pressure on e5. White opens yet another front with c4. And Julio says, nope, not this one. So there you have it. One weird opening today, at least you have seen. We'll get back to this at some point, see how Julio plays it, which side he sends his king to. Got any guesses on that, Ben? Where this king is headed?
I don't think it's going to be the only weird opening. And if I was a betting man, I think Julio's going to castle queenside. Rawr, attack.
Betting on the queen side. Very nice.
There you go. Got to bet on something.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said you got to bet on something.
You got to bet on something. In other news, and people are going to be wondering why in that match Las Vegas is starting with negative 0.5 points, and that, as usual, if you see a negative 0.5, chances are that it is because the team had a late-minute substitution, or they tweeted something insulting about the commissioner, Greg Shahadi. In this case, it was a late-minute substitution. But
can it be both? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, Eugene Yangyi is playing instead of Hans Niemann, I think. That's the difference.
They decided to shelve their secret weapon till next year when they were in contention for something serious.
Exactly.
All right, so big match here for the hackers. They're the ones who are trying to catch up and leapfrog the kangaroos in the Destiny. Ben, you're kind of an expert on this. Can you hop over a kangaroo? Is that plausible?
Well, I'm an expert on hopping over a kangaroo.
You're an expert on hopping.
The answer is fries.
Fries.
I think you can hop over a kangaroo. I think it's possible. I think it can be done.
So here, world number 2, Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. He's taking on Joshua Sheng, who I would give my most dangerous fourth board award to.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's necessarily the best fourth board, period, and scored the total most points. But I mean, if you're a board 1 and you're playing in the first round against the board 4 from the other team, this is the guy I would be most careful against, the most likely to just beat you somehow.
That doesn't sound like Mamedyarov, somebody who's going to be careful. It's like the most dangerous board 1 against the most dangerous board 4.
Yeah. So here they are. Mamedyarov looking like he's playing the Caro-Kann, so maybe showing a little bit of caution here against Joshua Sheng. Probably a pretty decent opening choice, I would think, for the matchup.
Yeah, and Joshua played a quick knight e5 and f4.
Right. This
Super
very fast
aggressive.
f4 against the Caro-Kann here. Very aggressive, looking for chances to play f4, f5. But you know, a nicely timed knight takes d7, I think, because his idea was if the knight recaptured, he'd push d5, leave the c5 pawn in a pretty bad position. Actually, it's blocking the bishop on e7, the knight on d7, and the c file. So that would be a pretty bad pawn on c5. And when you play d5, it's one nice thing to leave that pawn there. It's another thing that if these pawns trade, you might get f5 for your knight. So, so I think a nice time to trade on d7. Then he takes on c5 if the queen takes, hoping for some kind of tactic. Mamedyarov thought for a little bit and then captured on c5 anyway. So he doesn't seem to be afraid of bishop b4 or bishop e3 or any other bishop move.
Yeah, it looks like if that happens, then White could perhaps trade bishops. I mean, after bishop e3, I can take with check. So bishop to b4.
So more likely
trade
this one.
bishops on c5 and take on b7. Then maybe just black just castles and uses the open files against White's king.
Right.
As well as threatening queen e3 check.
My first impression is that this would be disastrous for White. They've gained a pawn, but they're facing queen e3, they're facing rook b8, they're facing rook c8. That seems like exactly what you don't want to do against Mamedyarov, honestly, this position.
Right, has to be excellent compensation for black. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see what you're doing as White. You spent all your energy to win a queenside pawn, right? You haven't spent your time playing f5 or playing rook he1 or doubling on the d file. That's just completely the wrong idea. So Sheng's going to come up with something else. Maybe bishop c3 and trade on f6 and then play like knight e4 and keep it sort of more dynamic.
No, and he played knight h5.
Okay.
Yeah, the knight on g3 wasn't very good.
No, he definitely.
Like getting rid of that.
Yeah, definitely want to do something about that piece. But simply trading it for the knight on f6 might let black just castle kingside and play rook c8 with a good position. We'll see. We'll see if Sheng has any aggressive ideas in mind here.
If they trade knights on h5, David, the c5 bishop is attacked, so he's getting a tempo there.
All right, so that's the first step of his plan, is that he'll have another little tempo here before black gets to castle.
Right.
And then if black plays queen to c7, for example, he can then start looking at ideas like f5 or bishop c3 and see if he's got anything interesting coming there. Okay, so Joshua may have some juice here in his bow. So by the way, this Joshua's team, the San Diego Surfers, they're tied for first place with the Chengdu Pandas. It would be a tall order for them to surpass them on tiebreak game points and get the #1 seed for the Pacific, because they're 7 points down. So
wow,
they would need the Sluggers to really clobber the Pandas pretty good.
To really slug them.
Yeah. And they're playing against like perhaps the most motivated team in the entire Pacific Division this week.
That's right.
In the San Jose Hackers, who need to pass the Kangaroos or Destiny. So, I mean, I think it's a tough matchup in both for both of these teams. You know, other teams aren't necessarily facing off against other top teams, but the Hackers need to get through it.
It's going to be tough to pass the Destiny, because the Destiny started with an extra half point due to the late lineup change. And Vegas didn't really put their best team up. Their average rating is about 23-30.
Okay.
So I think Dallas is a big favorite that match.
Yeah.
However, Australia can be, as you said, hopped over.
Yeah.
So So I think that's the big thing. Will San Jose catch Australia?
All right. So most likely, can San Jose hop over the Kangaroos? To do so, they've got to get past, one of the tied for first place teams in the Surfers. And, I mean, they've both brought out really strong lineups for this purpose. This is a clash, this match here. If I call up the pairings for everybody for a second, you'll see over here that the hackers have brought out their 3 GM lineup: Mamedyarov, Naroditsky, Izoria. This is super high rated. And then this Vinesh Ravuri, who's rated 1900 FIDE, but is actually a master, who has scored quite decently at times. So a really sick lineup. I mean, it says 2485 average, but they're gaining another 75 points basically off of Ravuri. So it's really like effectively 25, 50, or 60. And meanwhile, San Diego, I mean, they've got 3 really successful IMs who are dangerous, high rated, have scored well, and then Dreev, who's very classy, rapid player here.
He's the real rock of the team.
Yeah. So super strong clash. Hard to know who's gonna take this match today, but a big one to keep our eyes on as well. If I pop up Naroditsky's game for a second, it looks like a Bird Larson or Stonewall from Keaton Cura maneuvering game. I guess he started with a queen pawn game and then later advanced f4, it looks like. After some trades happened, got some space on the king side. And he's, I don't know, looking to do something with rook g3, but it doesn't seem like it should be too hard for Naroditsky to protect his king. Would you be worried?
There's not a lot of pieces on the board. This seems like black's equalized.
Okay.
If I was black, I'd be playing on the queen side here. B5, A5, B4.
Yeah.
Gain some space over there. I'm not super concerned about the king side attack because there's so many pieces have been traded already.
White would have to somehow chase the black queen away from the king side, right? Like they would have to take away every single square that she can be posted on in order to really get the kind of preponderance of material you need to break through on that side. So a fine start for Daniel. He seems to have a pretty safe position out of the opening here. I'm just going to follow Mamedyarov for a second so I don't miss any of what he does. Check in on Julio Sadorra, where things seem to be exploding. I see one piece being captured every second, so let's just back it up a moment here. C5 was played. All right, let's see what he did. Oh, yeah, so Julio brought his knight into the center, and then White just kicked everybody out with pawns. This trade happens on f4, and Julio is just really going on the attack without any castling. So the answer to which side he castled on might be he's going to leave his king on e8 for this game. d5. It gets tactical. The bishop
this
takes
really got crazy fast.
Renewing the threat. White wants to play like bishop takes f6 and take the bishop, but on bishop takes f6, there's probably bishop g2 check. So instead of taking on f6 right away, he plays bishop f3 first. White takes with the knight, and then he trades on f6. Then he gets the d5 pawn. Now the rook on a1's hanging, knight's hanging, rook's hanging. C6.
And Julio throws in c6.
c6. Who's calculated this better?
Yep, queen takes f3, queen takes a1 was played.
Looks like
black's up the exchange. Is his king safe?
Nah.
It seems pretty safe because white has trouble getting at it.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Ooh. I'm surprised by that knight move. I thought white was going to play a check and keep the king in the center there.
Well, he's attacking the queen, so...
Yeah, but he's giving black a chance to cover some of those squares. Now white doesn't have queen e4 to b4 when you've got an extra pawn back. Or just, the centralization. I thought it was going to be queen e4, king f8, rook e1. That's what I was expecting. Just starting to look at back rank mates and take some central squares for the queen. Alrighty, so knight d2, queen to d4. So Sadorra's king still in the center. He's won an exchange. White's going to need something pretty strong, I think, to make up for this.
I don't think white has enough for an exchange.
Yeah.
Also, black's a pawn up as well, so black has a lot of extra material.
And now white
Wow,
gives
and
him the
you
chance
let him
to castle,
I'm
right?
surprised. I'm really surprised you let him castle. He played knight e4.
I mean, rook d1 doesn't trap the queen, so
Wow.
Sadorra just looks at it for a second, makes sure his queen has a flight square.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a great one, but he just needed anything. He takes it, and now what's white's plan? Rook d2, rook d1, rook d2, rook d1. That's not going to work.
Mm-mm.
The queen can always get out through a2 and a5. So
Well, he played f5. He's trying for some attack, but it doesn't seem like it's enough.
Yeah. All right.
Let's have a look at, I can't say his name, of course. In fact, Chess.com can't even write his name. The Strema Vakius against Kachian.
Okay.
So it's Komandoris, I guess, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So it looks like he has an extra piece. And the knight on b8's no good. The bishop on h8's no good.
Mm-hmm.
This seems pretty good for the board 4.
It seems very good for the board 4. Wow.
Although for I mean, 24-26, I am on board 4. Yeah. That's a board 4.
That is a board 4.
That's a board 4.5.
He also seems to be looking at queen c7, which could be pretty decisive even if material were equal.
Yeah, white has the extra material and the compensation, as Yasser likes to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't imagine that Melik has anything here to stay in this game. I think we're going to see a board 1 go down here for sure. Another board 1 who should watch out would be Alexey Serrana. He's playing Joshua Ruiz, who's another very dangerous board 4. Serrana's board 1 for the Kangaroos, and Ruiz just, played a typical Sicilian knight on d5 sack. If you don't know about this, you basically don't know about the open Sicilian, so it's time that you know. Knight to d5 can often be played with a pawn on e6. The idea is that your knight is controlling all kinds of devastating squares unless the opponent deals with it, and that if they do deal with it by taking on d5, there are a number of things that you can follow up with. One is a knight on f5. Another, sometimes you have your rook on e1 and you play ed5 and get an attack on the e file. And here he shows yet another variation of it where he just brings in the next piece on d5. And queen retreats, wins a little bit of material back there, and then follows knight f5.
Very dangerous. Typical open Sicilian.
What's that?
A typical open Sicilian, very dangerous for both sides.
Yeah, that's how it goes. So here he's got the pressure on the d6 pawn. He's got a very solid pawn structure. At least black can probably get castled, but he has to wait here if he wants to castle. He's giving queen takes d6.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he can play bishop e7 first. Bishop e5 probably doesn't work because f4 is coming.
Right, bishop e5, f4 is something that he could calculate with, knight takes e4. But
it seems super risky.
Ben wouldn't even look at this, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that looks just terrible.
Okay.
It might be okay. It just looks terrible. I'm scared.
Right. Well, when you're in the open Sicilian, I at least look at all these kind of moves, but maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'm wasting my time. But anyway, yeah, bishop e7 is another option, but consider that white could always play f6 there if he really wants queen d6, and g takes f6 is not awesome.
No, white has excellent compensation. Maybe black should castle, and if queen takes d6, something like knight a4, and try to get counterplay, although I'm worried about e5.
Right. The big question I was going to say, the overall big question, I think, is going to be whether or not this dark squared bishop is powerful or not. Right now, all white's pawns are on light squares, and this bishop looks great. If somehow black could play bishop e5 and you couldn't play f4, then black would have like a nearly winning advantage because both the knight and bishop would be on squares defended by the pawn, and there would be no open file for white's rooks yet, really, or not enough. The bishop would basically be as good as a rook here, so yay, we've also got a knight. So I think the struggle over the next couple of moves is really whether or not this bishop can be contained. Looking sharp.
Very sharp, yeah. No
right.
easy baskets in the Pro Chess League.
I check in on Sadorra. It looks like he's given back his extra exchange in order to
What?
do a radical activation
Ooh, that looks good for
of
black.
his remaining rook and queen.
2 extra pawns.
This is as good as being up in exchange, right?
Yeah, this is great.
2 pawns, completely
Better queen,
active.
better rook, more pawns, safer king. Extra min on the clock.
White just sitting there defending g2.
No, this is no fun for white.
All right, so Sadorra looking in control here is board one who's not in the business of getting upset at the start of the day. Checking back on Melik. Has he pulled any kind of a miracle?
I mean, white's time situation isn't very good, but white's position is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, white's played queen c7. He can win another piece on b8
Yeah,
at will. It's trapped.
Hopeless.
It's hardly a piece.
It's a hopeless position.
So really, it's only the 30 seconds that gives some little glimmer of hope here.
Not much hope.
Not much of a glimmer, huh?
No. What's going on in this end game with Mamedyarov and Joshua Sheng? They got to a rook and bishop ending with 6 pawns each. Both are potentially having passed pawns here.
Right. And Mamedyarov has just played f5, stacking rook takes e6. So it was sort of a positional sack, and Sheng just played h5, not taking on e4. Prevents h5 from black, prevents bishop takes h4 from black. Mamedyarov could play rook to e7 here to save his e-pawn.
Yeah, but that's risky because I can take and play king d2, king e2, and try to play bishop g7.
Right, king d2,
Yeah, I don't know.
g3.
If he doesn't play rook
e2.
e7, he's going to lose e4 pawn. So
Bishop c5, king f1, going to g2. It looks like black's okay there. But there's bishop g7 always, once black commits to the g-pawn, huh?
I don't know what's going on there. There's potential for a lot of passed pawns.
That is hard to evaluate. Look at the time situation. Have you seen this? This IM? 5 minutes ahead of the world number 2? That's confident.
Joshua Sheng's quite a good player. There's some tough board 4s in this league.
Yeah,
Okay, Sadorra's about to win. The game's going to end any second.
I see it.
Can you get there in time?
I did. Oh, I made it.
Yeah.
I made it. He's only up 1 pawn, but he's done well.
Soon to be 1 queen. Yeah.
Done well. Let's see what he did. He pushed this g-pawn down the board.
All right. Melik's running out of pieces. So Melik's going to resign any second, and he did. Well, that's not a good start for Vegas when their board 1 loses to the board 4.
No.
The ratings aren't too far apart.
It's true. Their board 4 is not even that low rated, so they're really a bit outmatched today, and that's already 3 points for the Destiny versus negative 0.5. So,
Well, I don't know about Mamedyarov. I don't know about what he did there.
what did he choose to do?
I don't know what he did there. I don't know.
He chose to play bishop c7, attacking this f-pawn.
I don't
White
know.
could have played
The
rook
truth
takes
might hurt this
e4,
game.
but
He's
decided
playing for
that his
tricks.
f-pawn was already a candidate for winning the game.
He's playing for tricks.
Yeah. I could see a trick. Rook g4, g2 maybe, then rook takes g4, bishop f4, then bishop d2 would be good enough, but king b1 would allow a trick.
Yeah, if black plays g2 here, then bishop d2 just wins.
Yeah. So what is he looking at?
Okay, he played.
Right.
He's going to try to get rid of those pawns.
He's going to go to f5, I think, where his rook is active, controls the f-pawn, and can help his g-pawn.
I mean, it looks like black's trying to draw here.
Yeah.
Board 4s are tough today.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate the board 4s.
Presumably, Sheng is invested in this f-pawn. He's going to push it again. And when he does, I don't think there's time for rook takes h5, f7. Unless I'm missing something. Seems like it would promote the pawn for white because of rook g8. So I think f6 would force rook f5, and then white starts bringing his king up.
Yeah, that f pawn's pretty strong.
But Sheng's giving us some consideration here.
Let's go to Keaton Kirwa versus Naroditsky. I need an adult.
All right.
I need two adults.
Keaton didn't have any adults whispering in his ear during this game. He kept going for that kingside attack, I guess, even when we thought it wasn't really the kind of position where he had enough pieces to do it, and he's sort of doing it anyway.
That's right, and Daniel just played rook e3, trying to trade rooks because white has a big attack over there. That's a big, scary attack.
So white's got the pawn on h5, and it's his move.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he could play rook h2 and keep all his pieces for the attack.
Tempted to keep your rook. You worry that some kind of back rank mate's going to make you regret rook h2. That's like the ugliest way to get back rank mated is with your own rook there instead of a pawn.
That's true. Now, rook e3 is pretty clever because we really need to trade white's pieces here.
Yeah. Wow, this rook on a8 is not good enough. Black really needs to be scared.
I'm scared. I'm not even playing.
Yeah. And Keaton's ahead on time, so yeah, he made a really good game out of this. He really put the pressure on his higher rated opponent here.
Yeah, this is really dangerous for Daniel.
Ooh. I think Daruka's also putting pressure on board 1 against Serrana. If you look at this one, Serrana decided to defend the d6 pawn and thus keep the d file closed, keep his knight having a square. So Ruiz goes after the g7 pawn, first with rook g1, saying, hey, are you just going to come back to f6 and let me play queen d6? I think not. So g6 is played, queen d4, castles, and f6, and it looks like white's, you know, breaking through to some extent here, right? Not to the king, but to controlling this bishop, right?
No, I agree. This doesn't look good for black.
The middle of the board. Now this knight is going to have to find a home, probably e6, but the bishop's really struggling here. At least knight e6 threatens bishop f6, and he plays.
Yeah, if he gets bishop f6, then he's doing great. Wow. So, I mean, it's hard to believe that black can survive this, but maybe he can.
Yeah, if white plays e5, maybe black tries grabbing queen takes f3. Get a little active with the queen.
Wow, great defense from Serrana.
Try and go after the e5 pawn later with bishop c7, but you don't want to let white, you know, play f4 and defend this whole pawn structure. So it's still hard to tell who's going to win the battle of whether or not this bishop gets loose.
Let's look at Luke Harmon Vladi's game with Eugene Yanyat. It's Oogie versus Vladi Wizard.
Oogie,
it's 4 seconds to 14.
All right, I got to
root for Oogie. Are disappearing. Can white hold this with no time on his clock?
Well, he tried a trick, but it didn't work. And that didn't work.
I thought he was going to play rook f5 check, but instead he lost all his pawns.
Yeah, he lost every single one of them.
That's not good.
I guess that's that. Man, Oogie's a good username, but not good enough to save the rook endgame down 3 pawns.
For the Destiny, they get extra half point, and they're winning. Their board 4 is beating the board 1. Well, nobody's going to lose on time, but it's going to be a Pyrrhic victory for white, not losing on time. It's going to lose on the board.
Lose on the board instead.
No stalemate tricks. Not a stalemate trick in the house. All right. That game.
Let's see what Hikaru is doing here against Chu Rotong, board 4 for the Pandas. Looks like he opted for a Grunfeld out of the gates.
Wait, is that Hikaru crying? Oh, no, that's somebody else.
Nope.
Okay.
That's a kiddo here. Yeah, Destiny 4-0. So they're saying, like,
wow,
don't look at us hackers. Look at the kangaroos. If you're going to catch up with anybody, it's not going to be us.
Yeah. The truth hurts.
So here's Hikaru. Solid position so far. He invited her into some more complicated lines by playing the Grunfeld, and Ruotong chose something very simple and calm instead, rather than engaging him in theory. a lot of times in past weeks, we've seen Hikaru lead with something very a-theoretical himself. But today he challenged her. What did she want to play theory, and she didn't. And you know, that probably pays off because it means right away he gets a decent position.
Yeah, one of Hikaru's old loves, the Grunfeld. Doesn't play it too often nowadays.
All right, let's check back on Mamedyarov. Maybe we should just follow this endgame for a while because it looks like it'll be pretty instructive. Naroditsky, by the way, Mamedyarov's board 2, has drawn with Keaton somehow in a series of repetitions here.
That's a lucky escape for Naroditsky.
He traded the rooks on e3, and then Kira just gave checks with his queen.
I don't like Mamedyarov's position.
So, how Mamedyarov has defended against this f6 pawn. He's played king to d7, and then on... Oh, this rook check was really awkward for him, Ben, because he wanted to bring his king near the f pawn. You usually want your king near the opponent's passed pawns, right?
That would be a good idea.
Yeah? Okay. So getting checked here is awkward, right? Because he had to keep his king on the bishop, so he went the wrong way. b4. Now the white king...
he played king b1 instead of king b2, so now the pawn's going to queen the check.
That was surprising, right?
I'm very surprised by king b1, and I always say play king b1.
What advantage does it ever have?
I'm surprised.
What advantage does it have? I can't guess.
Wow, right, this bishop g5 is a nice idea.
That strengthens this g-pawn considerably. And because the king's on b1 instead of b2, if you play f7, you have to consider g2. Which with your king on b2, you would just laugh and queen and mate.
That's right.
But now you will think and then not queen because you probably get mated yourself by queen c1.
No, maybe you can just run out. King b3.
King b3, queen b1, bishop b2. Wow.
Still theory. Okay, so he immediately played rook f5.
Still theory. All right, f7.
And he's going to put something on f6, confusing the audience.
Rook g6 check, and he's looking for an interference on f6, rook f6.
Yeah, I'm so confused. I'm glad I'm not playing this game.
This would be pretty confusing, I agree. King d5.
All right, what's going f6, the bishop or the rook? The problem is when you take bishop takes f6, like bishop f6, you're threatening rook f1 mate.
Also, if black takes on f6, they've got rook f1 check, king b2, bishop takes c3 check, king takes c3, and rook takes queen.
Bishop g7.
So white played bishop g7. So g2.
Yeah, g2 looks good. What?
What?
Ah, that's what.
He's going for queen check and bishop to c5.
Yeah, but bishop e7 resigns.
Yeah, this is...
yeah, the truth hurts.
This is not correct.
Wow. That's why he's 2,800.
Man, this king b1 move, just the tempo of whether or not the queen answer with check destroy all his variations here.
White was doing well that game.
When it gets tactical.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, the board 4s can't always beat the board 1s.
No, they cannot. They cannot. All right. So back to Sarana. He has gotten the queens off the board. That's interesting. Let's see how that happened. Queen d6, knight e6. Oh, and he didn't even try for e5. He played queen d5. So Ruiz tried to trade the queens at the cost of sacking the f-pawn, but that means that that Sarana should be fine in this endgame.
No, this is great for black. That h3 pawn is really strong. The 2 pieces beat the rook. Yeah, this should be winning for black.
Oh my goodness, yeah, black's just
this is
in
nice.
A winning position here, basically. I mean, often it makes sense to go to the end game when you've got a rook, but here, I mean, the way he just surrendered the f6 pawn, you know, for nothing, it left black totally in the driver's seat.
We have a draw in the Chengdu match with Seattle, Sargissian and Yangyi. They played sort of a heavyweight GM positional draw.
Okay.
Because Sargissian was black and Zhu was paired up, so both relatively happy.
Yeah.
Gabriel counting on Hikaru to beat the board 4.
Yeah. But we would also expect Yangyi, the panda in charge, to be able to beat Megan Lee. And So far, Megan is holding up. She's got a solid position. No problems. Go
Yeah,
Megan.
and the board 2-3 matchup, the other one, Markvelashvili versus Baijin Shi is.
Yeah.
The ratings are about the same.
Yeah, this should be a close matchup. And
both teams with an average FIDE rating over 2,500.
It looks like this anti-Gruenfeld variation where you play d takes c3 and trade queens on d1 in the opening as white. And we've seen people actually winning this endgame as white sometimes. And the idea is that there's a little bit of pressure against a7, b6 with the a pawn at some point.
No, this looks like it's a little bit nicer for white. A little more space.
All right, I'm switching to another game for a second. Dreev with black against Vinesh Ravuri, another dangerous fourth board. Rated 1900, but so much more than that. And it looks like...
Wow, they both have seconds.
It looks like Dreev's coming out ahead a pawn. No, he can't take on a6 because of rook d6 check. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How is this guy 1900, right? Right? That's what you're thinking. I know it is.
I was thinking that.
Yep. Oh, look at that move. To bring the king further away before going rook b8. Then he didn't go rook b8.
I would have played rook b8.
He's content with trying to get a draw. Dreev's not going to just give you a draw, my friend.
Oh, he got a nice rook on the 7th.
That's the next thing you get to learn here. Dreev. Oh, but now...
Careful.
Ooh, careful. He wanted bishop takes f7, but not so easy.
Uh-oh, this
there
isn't
goes the
good.
first pawn.
Yep.
And now Dreev is telling you what it is. This is what it is, kid.
Yeah, he can't be too happy with this.
Nope.
Thought he was fighting for the win. Now he's fighting for the draw.
10 seconds of despair, and then he gives up the pawn as he had to.
This isn't easy to draw either.
And his king is stuck.
Yeah, it's not easy.
No bueno. Gotta go rook f4 to f2, no? Uh-oh. I don't know if Dreev meant for that to happen to his f pawn.
Oh, he couldn't play knight h6, that's right. And he gets his pawn back.
All right.
Having less than 10 seconds makes fools of us all.
That's the next reversal. And the king got out of knight e3. Clever. Wow, Ravuri, not to be trifled with. Uh-oh, back in your box or give me the h-pawn. What will it be? Back in the box. Good call. Uh-oh, knight f3. What do we do about this? Let's check him and figure it out next move. Oh, that's got to be the wrong way to go.
Hanging a checkmate. Rook h2 mate.
Rook h2 mate. Or
hanging his rook and mates. Not a good move.
That is not stopping a threat. When you just make the threat even more, everything winning.
Wow. Yeah, these things happen. Back to hanging mate in 1, as we've seen in previous weeks.
All right. You wanted it, you got it. Here's the Pacific Division.
Boy, I see two really nice connected pass pawns in Bortnik's game with Ikeda. I don't know who Ikeda is.
Hang on, something crazy is happening here. Why is there a pawn on c3? I guess it's white's turn.
On only one board?
Yeah, it looks like Yangyi may have somehow just won a pawn here. Let's see what we saw.
That's not very nice of him.
We saw pieces traded on e1, and then pawn takes d4, leaving... Oh, right, because the queen wasn't attacking the knight anymore. So just a simple win of a pawn. D takes c3, sacking the knight to try and come out up a pawn. Queen takes, and now we're going to see queen c5 check and c2, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the movie that Megan missed.
Yeah, then white has to play knight e2, but that doesn't look like fun.
All right, he's thinking about it for a second here. He's got nine minutes worth of seconds. That's a lot of seconds.
Yeah, this looks quite good for black.
Anything else he might have in mind other than queen c5 and c2? That's the only tactic that pops into my eyes.
He could be playing queen b6 check and take on b2 and then win the bishop with a6.
Queen b6, let's say king f1, and even then you could play a6. Possibly.
Play a6 there, yeah.
Or you could take on b2 like you were saying.
Yeah, he has more than one good way of playing. He wants to play the most accurate way.
Okay. So he does have possibly more than one option. I think queen c5 and c2 is really good because
I
as I'm
agree.
thinking about it, when white plays knight e2, let's say, as the only defensive c1, you're still taking your piece back with check. So at the end of this, you've got your queen in position. You can try and use your d-pawn or your knight to coordinate with the queen for an attack.
No, it looks very good for Yangyi, which isn't too surprising, I guess.
Yeah.
Boy, Hikaru's really putting in overdrive today with 12 and a half minutes to 30 seconds.
Yeah. He's saying, just run out your clock. Let's not even play this. I'm just here to watch you flag. And so is the audience. They just want to see you flag.
I thought white's position was okay, although I didn't like b4. That seemed unnecessary.
It looks like b4 was a very aggressive move by white.
Yeah, now c5 is just winning. c5 wins. Oh, maybe you can just take on c5 and the king defends the bishop. So it's not as easy as I thought.
Yeah, you were thinking maybe c5 defends this,
thought
the rest is
everything was
c4. If he takes it, knight takes, and you just pick something up. But
Instead, Hikaru takes the a file.
Man,
Good
I'm seeing her tenths of a second ticking down pretty rapidly here already.
Yeah.
And they're just at the start of the game. And he's played rook to a8, not knight b6 or c5. Huh. I did not see that coming. I thought that he would take the pawn on b6. But instead, it's another solution. 7 seconds left. Whew. The pressure. Speaking of 7 seconds left, Sarana has 7 seconds left too.
Yeah, I'm looking at that game right now.
And he's trying to finish this off with 2 pawns against a rook. The white king is completely boxed out from where they queen, so he may even be able to win this, but it's pretty complicated. Let me see. It got to a rook endgame. Bishop against this pawn on c7. Wow, Joshua made quite a massive fight out of this game. Wow.
Yeah, his position wasn't good, but now he has a chance.
And he's got 4 minutes to look for it. Look for it. I don't think he could be winning this, could he?
Oh, no, white's not trying to win. No, black's trying to win. Yeah, those pawns are strong.
We've got someone offering to be my coach in the chat.
All right.
I don't really play in tournaments anymore, so maybe his advice would just be to play.
We need more arrows and circles. What?
Oh.
What happened?
Boom. Hikaru won.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
Hikaru won is a common sentence in this chess league.
And rook g2 was kind of like a moment for me.
Oh, man, he won on time and on the board.
And on the board.
Not very sporting.
She flagged in the face of this was all over. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done, Hikaru. You managed to finish your game before the matches that started before you. So, a victory there. Sarana has 2 seconds on the clock now. 2 seconds. Come on, Kangaroo. Keep moving. That means his last move that he made.
Looks like it's a draw now.
That means the last move he made, he had 0 seconds spent because 2 seconds got added to his clock after he made it.
No, this looks like it should be a draw now.
He's offered it too. Ruiz is wondering, like, can I flag you?
Yeah, this has to be a draw.
Can I flag you?
Wow, that's a nice comeback from Ruiz.
Yeah, he declines it.
Wow.
Good job, Ruiz. That was like an endgame that Ben condemned you in. He said you were going to lose.
Yeah.
He said you were going to lose it, and nobody disagreed either. Everybody said, you're right, Ben. All right, Sarana goes from 2 seconds to 11 seconds with some automatic pre-moves, draws the end game. Still, that's a draw for a board 4. They'll take it.
Yep. Yeah.
They'll take it. The Osprey will take that one. Yep, that's not a good start for the Kangaroos necessarily. Their score so far.
Megan Lee's still fighting against Yu Yangyi. She's down a pawn and a queen and knight endgame. I guess 2 pawns.
Yeah, but
that's not good.
But check out
one
check
pawn
out
maybe,
this,
but not 2 pawns.
Check out this score. I was going to count points instead of pawns for a second. The Kangaroos have 1/2. That's their only 1/2 point in the first round against Rio Grande. So
wow, 3.5.
Yeah.
That's music to San Jose's ears.
So that means it's wide open for San Jose, who is currently locked 2-2 in a total death match here with San Diego. But that means that the door is open. They've got a chance. They might even be able to make it with a draw if the Kangaroos have a really bad day. I mean, the Kangaroos are playing the Rio Grande Ospreys, one of the lower teams. If the Ospreys win, that also puts pressure on the Sluggers. So it's sort of a everybody's interconnected kind of day today.
Hey, let's look at Melik's game with Javakadze. Melik's being really mean this game.
Nice.
He's playing super aggressive.
You could imagine he'd be mad after the last game and bring out mean Melik. So let's see. We've got a maneuvering double king pawn.
And then
a piano that they call pianissimo. And then Melik brings some knights to the king side and says, you know what? My knights are not retreating. We are done retreating.
Wow.
We have retreated for you before, and we will not do it anymore.
And Javakadze played king g7, afraid to take the knight. I don't blame him.
Yeah, not really threatening to take it either. So,
can Melik play something like queen h4 to play knight h5 check?
Presumably he could.
I think he could play knight g6. Wow. Can he get away with that? I guess. Man, I really want to play knight h5 check, but I can't. I can't take my own queen.
King h8. Yeah.
There feels like there has to be something here.
Messy. Melik's having a think. I think he's got the feeling too. I was also looking at the move f4 here, which is illegal because of the bishop on a7. So
I've made that illegal move before in a tournament.
A lot of stuff going on. You actually played it?
I played f4, hit the clock, and about a minute later, I'm like, oh, my king's in check. I was 9 years old, but still.
Oh, okay.
You don't forget stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm in check. I won that game. Yay.
All right.
Illegal moves aside.
You would not have won that game against Ernesto Inarkiev.
That's right. He would have. We could have taken each other's kings.
He would have got you.
Yeah. Not even Magnus can beat that. Yeah. All right. So this looks like Yu Yangyi's wrapping it up. Mark Velashvili, Baijin Shi looks really boring.
That's what I was going to ask you about. I was going to ask you, here's some real Grandmaster chess, Ben.
Yeah, exactly.
Endgame with nothing going on.
Nobody's
what do you
blundering.
think of it?
Where's all the blunders? Where's
and the answer is it's just boring.
Yeah, where's the mates in one? See, now Michael Brown, Vinesh Ravuri, now we're talking.
That's what
I'm trying to see. Every piece is hanging. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, Soggy
all
Cheese.
All the pieces are attacked.
Let's do it, Soggy Cheese. Your queen's on prees.
Yeah, now you're talking. This is the Pro Chess League. We want every piece attacked.
I think.
So black's up a piece, but white has infinite threats.
Yeah, I think white's just one. I mean, if black moves the queen, white takes on d3, and then black can resign positionally.
Yeah, the knight on e6 is pretty strong.
Yeah, not going to be taking that rook. No, thank you. In fact, he might even play queen g4 if black goes to the wrong square with his queen.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's bishop g6, so no need to get fancy. I don't.
But it's my day to be fancy. All right.
I don't really see any way to gather enough material for black. Actually, I would be desperate enough. I would consider bishop c4. So let's consider it. Bishop c4.
How desperate are you?
Knight d8, rook a to d8. What do you think? May I do this? I mean, you're playing the King's Indian, so your standards can't be that high. Soggy
That's
cheese.
right. The standards are very low.
Yeah. If you play the King's Indian, you got to be willing to give your queen for something random.
I don't know. Can I just play rook c1 and take on c7?
Yeah, you can play rook c1. It's pretty harsh.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. Let's see what he's done. He's played queen f6, queen d3. Now he gets to resign positionally. That's boring. Rook fc. I was going to say, like, instead of resigning, what do? You play like rook fc8? That is
Well, he'll try
Much
to
more
trade off
painful
the
than
knights.
resigning.
He'll try.
I prefer to
19
resign
or
over playing this. I'll play f3 now for white. f3.
Never play f3.
I will play f3 here and still win.
Yeah, f3 looks pretty good.
Yeah. If you don't like it, we can play f4.
I was thinking f4, but f3
same thing, but
yeah, f4 is also good.
But f3 if you know that Ben's watching, just so you can be like,
That's
hey
right.
Ben, I played f3 and I won, and Ben's like, your position was too good. That doesn't count.
It doesn't count. That's right. The knight on e6 is too good.
Like when it's already +3, then f3 can be played.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
and Mark Velashvili and Bajinsi did draw by repetition.
Did draw by repetition.
Yeah.
Yeah. AKA they both fell asleep at the same time, and
Exactly.
their managers sent each other instant messages saying, my guy's asleep. How's your guy? Asleep. Should we call it? Let's call it.
I'm not sure if that's exactly what happened, but it's very close.
Melik's still thinking about his next explosive move. Chess Panda still working against Megan Lee. This is really impressive, I have to say, for board 4. Look what she's doing. She's playing out this queen endgame really close here. She's got some chance to finally get checks against this king. She put her king in the path of the d-pawn. I am impressed.
I prefer
pick up
black.
f3 with check. You could still prefer him. But this has been valiant from a losing position.
Yeah.
She's shown some good defensive and endgame technique at the same time here.
Yeah, no, they're all falling.
So I'm going to give her some props on that. The queen can take everything now and it's over. But it was good while it lasted. D3 check is pretty good here too.
Everything's good.
Because if the king goes to c3, there's queen f6. But yeah, what could be wrong with queen h5? h2's hanging too. d3. That shows you that Yangyi is still paying attention. He's not just licking his lips. He's looking at all the options.
Unfortunately, there's no stalemate tricks. We always need stalemate tricks.
Yeah.
There's no tricks.
Yeah, queen e2 is pretty non-tricky.
Yep.
That's
Good
a
time to
TKO,
waste your
Megan.
time.
Good time to call it a game.
Yeah.
Well done. All right.
So what's the score of this match? Is this 2-2? What's going on?
You can be proud of that. You gave him a fight. That is 2-2.
Yep.
2-2. So
that's going to be a close match.
We're going to have some close matches here between the hackers and the surfers and the pandas and the sluggers, and the kangaroos are going to have to step it up if they want to give us a third close match here. So we'll see what they can do. Our man in Baku, Shakhriyar Mamedyarov, not in Baku, but I wanted to say that city for some reason.
That's right.
Shakhriyar Mamedyarov here playing against Kura of the Surfers.
A very unusual position.
This time Mamedyarov is the one who's looking to try and play a kingside attack with h5 at some point. His king came to g2 just to introduce the concept. And
He's pushing pawns everywhere. Wow.
I guess Kura played bishop a3 to disconnect the c1 rook from h1. Reduce that attack a little bit, but I'm still feeling Mamedyarov's position here.
It's unusual to push pawns on both sides of the board like Mamedyarov's doing, but he's a super aggressive player.
It is. You really wonder why his pawn's on b5 when he could be playing
c4.
h5, but here comes c4, and we don't know. We don't know everything that this man has in mind.
He has a lot of space. Control of e5. You can double rooks on any file.
He has all the space. It's true. I don't know. Now he's opening the center, right? With his king on g2 and pawn on h4. It's unorthodox.
No, it's a very strange position.
Maybe just trade the knight on h7. You're no longer too worried about hg and rooks coming to the h file now that the c file's open. And what else is your knight on h7 ever going to do here?
Have a look at what Melik did against Jakavadze.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting. I've been waiting to know.
Yeah, he took on f5,
Yep.
and then he played queen g4.
Whoa.
Confusing the audience.
Yeah.
Confusing the commentators.
Yep. Sowing confusion everywhere.
And he took a long time to do that, so that's the best he could find.
Okay, so, I mean, the main line that we have to consider is what if the superfine hipster takes his piece and then puts his king on h8, let's say, instead of h7. Queen f6, perhaps. King h7. Rook to e4.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's a rook lift coming.
Rook to e4. And now we start introducing the idea of rook h4 checkmate after the knight on f5 is dealt with, one way or another. It looks close to decisive, but hang on there. There's still queen e7 and then rook h4, knight h4, queen e7. Would be winning for white.
Practically speaking, very hard to play black, even if black's okay. So much attack.
Yeah. Melik invested a lot of time in that. I mean, I feel like he had like 8 or 8.5 minutes maybe, and spent, now he's down to 2, so he spent maybe 6 minutes going for this thing. You'll be pleased to know that Michael played f3 just like I wanted him to, violating
Never play f3.
Violating your never play f3 and just clearly showing that every move can win at some point or another. When your opponent plays rook fc8 in a King's Indian after playing g5, g4.
Yeah, not the right plan.
That's when f3 is good. So queen g6, he takes it, takes that.
But we saw last week Magnus Carlsen played f3 on move 1 and he lost.
Yep.
So he still has a thing or two to learn.
Yeah, there are still some ways that f3 can go wrong.
Stick to knight h3, kid. It'll bring you far. But not f3. Come on, now you're just going too far.
Yeah.
Knight h3, okay, but f3. Come on.
So Javakadze has taken the piece on g5, but he tried the alternate variation here with king h7 instead of king h8. So this is a little bit more open to knight h5 coming to f6 as an issue, but less susceptible to rook e4 to h4. And Melik has got 1 minute and 36 seconds to find the knockout here. I'm sure he's looking at knight h5. And I'm sure he's looking at rook e4. Hopefully he's not looking at queen h5 check knight h6 for too long. That's unimpressive.
I'm looking at this game, Ostrovsky against the guy whose name I can't pronounce. Strema Vaus. Can't spell. Yeah, just because it's 6 minutes to 20 seconds. It's like Hikaru's playing.
Nice.
But this is looking good for Ostrovsky.
Let's see.
You don't see many games where it's 6 minutes to 20 seconds unless Hikaru's playing. Then you see it all the time.
Melik has played rook e4 and rook h4. And he is now down a full rook. That's the update. That's the bean count update. No idea. No idea how he's doing.
He's having fun.
I know this king needs to move.
So who's better in Mamedyarov's game with Kirwa? They have a lot of trades since we last looked.
All right, let's have a look. So,
like black's doing fine.
So black played knight f6 instead of trading on g5, and then Mamedyarov traded it anyway, which covers his own knight e5 move, so that's a mild surprise. Some trades. Oh, look at this nice trade from Kira. Rook takes c4, and that's clever. Takes something off the c file, but there's still a lot on the c file. a6. All right. Kura's hanging in there. The knight on f3 doesn't yet have any spectacular prospects. Mamedyarov has h5 at some point to work on his king's position, try and loosen it a little bit, but doesn't yet look decisive. Kura's still in this one. I don't know. What do you say?
He's in it to win it. Yeah.
To win it.
Wow, Malik has 17 seconds left. And he's down a rook.
And he's just played knight h5. And on bishop takes b3, he could have considered queen f6, but he didn't. Go for it in the end.
Yeah, this is starting to look like he's just down a rook.
And after queen f5, this looks a lot like he's just down a rook.
Yeah, now queen takes f2 wins. Or bishop f2. Yeah, doesn't matter.
That's that.
Oh, well, all in, but it didn't work.
All in, and it didn't work. I can't believe that.
Somebody jokingly said maybe Vegas is going to lose 16 to -0.5.
Right. My feeling was it would work.
Yeah, but all in, sometimes you have to fold.
Yeah. So far, they do have one of the best starts I've ever seen towards trying to lose every game. So...
Wow, it looked like a nice attack, too, until it didn't.
Yeah.
It was good until it wasn't. Yeah.
They could be in trouble. All right, so pawns traded on b5 here. And Kura gets his queen to d5, which is a nice, strong square. Rook c5 is certainly possible, but then he sticks to this diagonal with queen e4, covering his b7 pawn, keeping this knight occupied. Yeah, he looks like he's doing all right here. Oh, his rook on d8 would be hanging. Well, that's something else to keep your eye on.
Indeed.
So not.
And we just got the next round started in the Seattle match with the Chengdu Pandas.
Uh-oh, he's trading tactics with Mamedyarov.
Is that a good idea?
I'm scared of that idea.
Yeah.
But I guess you would be less.
But Keaton can trade tactics with the best of them.
In theory, I mean, he shouldn't really be able to trade tactics with the very best of them, or he would be rated 2,700.
That's right. He's keeping a low profile.
Doesn't want it to be too well known. So now b6 is a possible move that definitely forces trades.
Well, last year in the Pro Chess League, I beat Mamedyarov and I lost to Keaton Kirwa.
Right.
I beat Mamedyarov with black. I lost to Keaton with white. So there you go.
This outside past a pawn.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Mamedyarov wants here, but his knight is still bad, remember. So if he trades rooks, he's traded both his good pieces, leaving his bad piece and a past a pawn.
Yeah, Kirwa's tough.
So he's going to play rook c5 now? That's his grand idea, which is not grand at all, obviously. I guess that's his idea. It's got to be rook c5. He's thinking about it. He's not pumped either. Mamedyarov's had 2 tough endgames so far today. This San Diego squad is serious.
Yeah, this is a very important match for a lot of teams, not just the teams that are playing.
He traded. What?
Wow, King F1.
As far as I can see, that king's not in the box, Ben.
Yeah, probably White's knight can get over there.
Probably.
Probably.
He
maybe.
Better be able to.
Maybe. It's possible.
It's possible. Yeah, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
This endgame does not feel promising.
See, the thing is, if Black uses his bishop to queen the A pawn, and Black can't stop the B pawn with his king because White can play G4, H5. So potentially White has passed pawns everywhere.
So Black might need to take time out to play F5 at some point to prevent this outside
unusual
pass pawn.
Endgame. Yeah.
The king keeps coming.
Right now, White's king is playing and Black's king is not.
Okay, but does Mamedyarov realize that at some point this pawn is just going to queen? His king is not getting there.
Well, his knight can saunter over to B3. We have to saunter.
Okay. So he's waiting till the last moment and then expedite the knight.
Wow. All 3 results possible.
Yeah. Yeah, even the fourth result, which no one's ever
Also
seen
possible.
before, might happen for the
That's
first
right.
time today.
That's your negative 0.5 we talk about a lot.
Yeah. Because if Mamedyarov thinks he's got 6.5 minutes and goes online and tweets something negative about Greg, boom! Negative 0.5.
Now he's in trouble.
Negative 0.5.
Nobody would ever tweet anything negative about Greg. It would never happen. Just a second, I'm tweeting something.
All right.
Okay, no, wait, that's not it. Yeah,
Just don't show me what you're tweeting.
that's right.
Don't at
Show
me in it.
Show me what you got.
Don't at me.
Show me what you got.
Got another position which to me seems to be promising some action. I'm just gonna show it to you guys for a second. It's between Alexey Sarana and Carlos Hivia. A match which didn't start out well for the Kangaroos, so
They're hopping mad.
if they don't do something good, we may give up on them. But at the moment, Sarana's got a pretty cool looking position going here. So does Hevia. So they both have, some major firepower aimed towards their kings. Look at these knights on G5 and E5, all kinds of stuff. Rook F5.
Wow, what a crazy position.
Yeah, he just rushed this F-pawn forward in the IQP position. It weakens him long-term on the diagonal, which Hevia jumps on, but it opens up some possible tactics for him along the F-file. In my experience, it's hard to win these positions as white once you're tied to defending G2. That's my first instinct about this kind of thing.
There's so many interesting games going on right now.
But he's got some huge threats. I'll give him that. I mean, if his
I'm really
queen-
fascinated by Mamedyarov endgame. I'm totally confused.
we'll go back to that.
I can't stop looking at Mamedyarov endgame.
All right, so F5 got played as we thought to stop an outside pass pawn on the king side.
G4 H5 idea.
Now Kura's king is finally able to participate. Mamedyarov's king is finally in the box of the 8 pawn. It looks like his mad king run was incredibly fast. He also has the idea of knight d7 followed by pushing his b pawn a bunch. Could also be awkward.
No, knight e5 is a strong move, yeah.
If king f8, then b6 already, right? Ouch.
Yep.
So,
Never play f6.
And if there's no king f8, oh, he played f6.
Never play f6.
If there's no bringing his king over, then that's not so good neither.
Now this is looking good for white. I mean, white's king is closer to the queen side. The b pawn is closer to queening.
Yeah.
This looks really difficult for black. Can he hold it or even win? Still all 3 results possible.
If white plays b6 here, he can play king e7. It's kind of messy, but I'm pretty sure that it holds up. Tactically, the pawn takes the bishop, king takes the knight, and somehow the pawn got close enough to the king that it's stopping queening. So there's no direct win here with b6 for Mamedyarov.
You just play king c4.
King c4. The king just keeps inching forward.
And you play knight c5, a3.
Yeah, well, knight takes a4 was threatened. Had to do something.
The problem with black moving his king up like d6, d5, he can't take on d4 because e6 is hanging. But maybe he can play e5 next move.
Yeah.
Or bishop b6.
You could try e5, then there's knight b7 check. He could try king d5 first and see where white goes with his king. Because then he's got bishop b6, bishop d6, and e5 all possible. So I think he'll go king d5. But we'll see.
His king just ran over and took that a pawn.
Yeah. All right, so now black's king is active. So bishop b6, yep. It's pretty good. If that bishop gets to d4, black kind of has it all held together. That's the cost of running the king all the way to a3. Then black's king was better. Yeah. So the a-pawn didn't queen, but it still cost Mamedyarov quite a bit to deal with it. I'm impressed with how Keaton's playing this endgame.
Yeah, Keaton's tough. Very strange that his title next to his name is IM instead of GM.
Wow, he played e5 instantly, didn't even consider bishop takes c5, or had already considered it, I guess. I hadn't really calculated it out, but bishop takes c5, pawn takes, king takes looked plausible, right?
It's at least plausible, yeah.
Picks up the b pawn, and maybe then f3, king takes b5, g4 was something he couldn't deal with. Let's see, can he get back in time? No siree.
Probably not.
Wow. So
yeah.
he couldn't go for that king and pawn ending, so he plays e5 instead. Pawn comes to e4. Now he could go for the king and pawn ending maybe because there's no longer f3 in the same way.
Yeah, but king f4 and h5 should win.
Mm-hmm. Man.
20 seconds for Keaton.
That's not a lot.
No, this is a tough ending.
Out of time to do this thing. King somewhere. Sure, that's a good move, though. That's a good move. Especially with 20 seconds. Doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, you just get the feeling that Shaq's going to win somehow.
Yeah.
Wow, that
mainly just based on time. I mean, if you give Keaton another 3 minutes, I don't know that I'd bet against him.
Man, but Shaq's king's done a lot of work. King went all the way to the A file, then back to E3. Wow.
Yeah, he's going to be eating some energy bars right about now.
It's nice to have the time advantage here. This position's still very tricky.
All right.
Let's have a look at Naroditsky versus Sheng.
Okay.
Naroditsky sacked a piece, and Naroditsky sacrificed all of his time. And this looks like Naroditsky might be sacrificing the game. I don't know. Doesn't look good for Danya. He's playing for tricks.
Sheng is dangerous. All right.
Yeah.
Sheng's got weird knights all over the place. Trade. 20 seconds. Still down a knight on d3, and a knight on d3 is no joke.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's got to be a win for Sheng. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, extra time and good position.
We've seen Naroditsky save some positions, but it looks like Sheng's plan is to go queen c5 and take the f.
Never play f3.
He had to, man. Queen c5, rook f2 would have been worse. Now he comes over here, comes to the second rank. Oh. This is the ugly.
Wow, rook b6 was a strange move.
Back to e6, okay. Not sure what that's about. Whoa.
Wow, everybody going crazy here. What's happening?
Why didn't he take
E5.
back?
Wow, e5. F4 and e5.
2 seconds
Queen
left.
h4. Never play
2
f3.
seconds left. Still
yeah,
going.
he's going down. Wow.
All right.
Naroditsky losing to Joshua Sheng.
That was no bueno. Joshua Sheng. There's a board 4 for you.
That's an important game.
Yeah, that's big. San Jose, don't want that. All right, let's see how Saran is doing. I'm just interested in this position. Sorry. F5 takes, rook takes F5. I just like how there's the more pieces there are and the less pawns, the better chess is. Bishop E5, knight E5, queen to B3. So white has somehow lost his D pawn here in the middle of the board.
Mm-hmm. It looks like Keaton has good drawing chances, although he has 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
But he has good drawing chances. I mean, position's probably a draw, but there's no time on his clock.
Mm-hmm. Bishop C7, good. Maybe. Got to avoid all those knight forks every move. 5 seconds, that's better than 2.
Yeah, wow. There should have been 2 against knight and 2.
Yeah.
But with 5 seconds left.
What kind of wizardry can you pull off, Shak? Kind of annoying that his knight has to defend g3. That makes it harder for him to come up with something.
And San Diego's up 4.5, 2.5 against the Hackers.
Ooh. So they need every point out of Mamedyarov and Naroditsky. They can't have these. They can't have these little flub-flubs. All right, defend the g-pawn with the king.
I mean, this is just a draw.
Maneuvers with the knight.
This is a draw.
It's not a draw till Shaq says it's a draw.
Yeah, Shaq's going to say it's a draw soon. F5, F4. Man.
Wow, good move, Keaton.
I don't know. There's no pawns left.
Keaton's on the level today.
Yep. Yeah, Shaq's going to say it's a draw soon. Wow, it's amazing he held this endgame.
Yeah,
not that he's held it yet.
Lots of good moves.
Yeah. I mean, tough position. Wow, and Shaq's king went all the way to the A file and all the way to the H file.
Shaq's done everything
now Shaq has
could.
3 seconds. Wow.
He's used all his time.
Yep.
Can't win this anymore. Time to trade off the last pawn.
Wow.
Draw, draw, draw.
Very nice. Wow.
Bravo.
Everybody's offering a draw. Nobody's accepting. There we go. Wow.
Right, game drawn.
Kirwad drew that with no time on his clock. Wow.
That's
not a good round for San Jose.
That is amazing.
They
got 1/2 point out of Naroditsky and Shaq.
Wow. The surfers. The surfers are going surfing.
Oh. Well, that's what a first place team looks like. All right. Back to my hero Sarana. He just dropped his bishop on the back rank. Let's see what he's got prepared here.
He's preparing to lose more pieces. It's a queen sacrifice.
Queen sac. Not bad. He took a queen. I like that.
Taking a queen's good.
Yeah.
But who's better here and why?
Now he just has to keep black's rook away from g2. Yangyi would somehow maneuver his rook to g2, and that would really be rough for white. I think he's wondering, he wants to go rook c6 and rook c to c1. He's wondering if he can do it, if he can avoid this trade. But I think Hikaru should also be playing again, so let's see what he's up to. He's playing Xu Xiangyu. This guy has been critical to the Pandas. Critical.
Yeah.
So
black's position looks okay, but his time doesn't look okay. Hikaru has the Nakamura time advantage. Over 5.5 minutes.
Jeez. That's a lot.
But black's position looks pretty reasonable.
Mm-hmm. That rook just wandered somewhere sort of Laskerian, a.k.a. random.
Wait, which Lasker?
Emmanuel.
Oh, that Lasker.
It's a good one, but...
That's a good Lasker.
That is a good Lasker. But see, that rook... Lasker did this thing, he sort of like tempts the opponent to overextend, supposedly, by putting his rook on this bad square on a5.
Both sides getting checkmated in Bortniak Kubakarov.
All right.
It'll be simultaneous checkmates for the first time ever.
That's what we like. Let's see.
No, the game's going to end in a perpetual check with both sides getting mated.
You promised me checkmate, not
it's going to be a perpetual check. Well, if it was white's move, it'd be checkmate.
All right, that's true. Fair enough.
Black has a perpetual somehow, avoiding mate. Wow.
That's a good perpetual to have, man. His king was
good timing.
Was finished.
Wow.
Kui Bukharov. This guy is like the highest rated board 4 in the league, by the way. 24,
he's board 4?
FIDE. Wow. Today he's playing board 3, but I've seen him play board 4 on multiple other occasions. So the Kangaroos have a lineup where they put him on board 4. It's pretty intense. All right, so I set out to see Hikaru, and I want to see Hikaru. That rook on a5. Is it okay, or is it dead?
Yeah, it doesn't look too good. Doesn't look good. Not a good rook.
White pretty much needs to play b4 to end this whole story.
No, this doesn't look good for black. That rook is a wandering rook.
This is what happens sometimes when you try to emulate really famous players. You're like, I've seen this one game where Lasker did this weird thing. It was provocative, and then his opponent messed up later.
Sounds like Pillsbury Lasker to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chu Tong's not doing well against Sargissian.
All right, so now what?
Not good. And Sargissian has an 8 minutes time advantage. So the top boards are getting big time advantage.
We got a made in one threat. We got to find out if Hikaru is immune to the Pacific Division disease.
And he stopped it.
Saw it, totally. But he only prevented it for a move or two, right? They could trade rooks, and then maybe he could hang it next move. It's hard to hang it once you've seen it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But once he has to defend B2 forever, it's not, like, simple to win this, is it?
No, black has counterplay. Yeah. It's not simple at all. It looks good for your man Sarana. He's looking good.
All right, what happened?
His checkmate's coming first.
Black avoided the rook trade.
Yeah.
I knew he wanted to avoid it.
Yeah.
So then bishop h4, he comes for the mate, but white's got g3 for his king.
Yeah.
And he just says, I'm not defending my king. Are you defending yours?
Yep. Queen f8's winning. Queen takes b7's winning.
Queen
it's all winning.
b7 would be enough.
Your man Sarana has done it.
Sarana. Not just a good kind of chili pepper.
K Sarana?
Oh. Yeah. Just take on b7.
Yeah.
Don't give me a heart attack. If I'm your coach, I just want you to take on b7. I don't want to be watching you with like 10 seconds on the clock trying to find a checkmate.
And the Kangaroos are down 4-1, so they need the...
That's what I asked you not to do. I guess he found the checkmate.
He gave you a heart attack?
So... Unless his checkmate was queen e4.
G3 and queen f5 looks like mate to me. Queen f5 mate.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That'll do it.
All right, I take it back. As your coach, I now congratulate you.
That's right. Very good.
On
well
being
done.
Accurate and paying attention till the end. All right. So
since you mated your opponent, you're forgiven.
Yeah, you're forgiven for the gray hairs you gave me. So Hikaru moves his heavy pieces to the D file. Queen to D2. Presumably queen c5, queen d6 check, and then playing out the
That's just because Hikaru's a big fan of heavy D. That's why he did it.
Yeah. Queen d2. It looks like a queen trade's coming.
Looks nice for white.
The problem for black is that after queen d6 check and the queen's trade, it's hard to stop rook d7. Like super, super hard to stop. All this just happened. Bishop e5, rook d7. Feels like a tough time for black.
Yeah, it's looking tough for Chengdu on this board and on Sargissian's board.
All right, let's see what Sargissian's up to.
Yeah, that game's not going to go much longer.
No.
Well.
Sorry, I gotta find him. Found him. Oh, he's playing board 4. So. Yep. And he's encroached on her king here quite significantly. Yep.
Yeah, lots of hanging pawns, lots of bad king, lots of extra time, lots of extra rating.
Yeah. He's got the 7 elements of chess. All the boxes checked.
So we have a lot of passed pawns in Bachea versus Ikeda, Bartek versus Nika Chabu, and they both have seconds left. And everybody's got passed pawns, but Ikeda has more. More passed pawns. 3 connected passed pawns. Is it enough?
Time situation. Better hope so. They need to turn this thing around.
G4. The Kangaroos need every point.
I mean, they made up some ground this round. They're only down by 1 point now.
Yes, so Smirnov just beat Ruiz. That's right. The round 2 is a good round for the Kangaroo. Right.
So we're switching from 2 close matches to 3. I like it. This D pawn does not look like it's enough to do anything. Black is active. King e6, that is simple chess.
Ooh, does White have drawing chances? I think so.
I say nay.
Nay? I think he has
nay.
drawing chances. 2 seconds. He did it.
Doing it is just making a move, right?
Yeah. He didn't lose on time. Always a good option.
All right. Rook takes b3. Rook b2 check. That's it. King f3.
Seconds left, but they really need this win.
Yeah.
It's a mild upset too.
Could also play rook a2, but
it's never easy. They both have seconds.
what is he doing? Oh, he's threatening mate. I like it. What are you doing, man? Oh, threatening mate. I'm down with that. Pawn to f3. What?
Never play f3.
No. It's not how you
Looks
do
like
it.
a draw to me, David. Looks like it should be a draw.
He's rewriting the old classic song. This is how we don't do it.
This is how we don't do it. Yep. Draw.
This is how we blow it.
Wow.
Oh,
And Australia
come on,
needed
man.
that point. They
Come
needed that
on.
point.
Come
The GM
on.
escapes against the IM.
You got to put him away when you get that.
Always escape.
No points for the IMs. All right, what's Hikaru up to? He's got his rook on the 7th. He's taking a pawn or two.
I don't know who's winning, but I know who has 8 minutes and who has 19 seconds.
You also know who's winning.
Well, yeah, but
You lie, Ben. You
Yeah.
lie.
have I ever had 8 minutes and my opponent had 19 seconds? Man,
No.
it happens to Hikaru every game.
I know.
wanna
You just
have
don't
one.
play as Hikaru often enough.
I just want to have him once.
You play too many games as Ben Feingold.
Exactly. That's not working for me at all.
No.
Terrible.
Hikaru played f3, by the way, Ben.
Never play f3.
But he's invoking the I have +3 rule.
That's right. He's invoking I have a rook and you don't.
Yeah. All right. So how to win this endgame? I don't know.
Hikaru's busy calculating rook takes b5, g5.
Yeah.
He's very busy.
It seems like the way you win this endgame is to sack your rook for everything on the king side at some point when black can't queen.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's looking at rook g5, take, b5, f4, c5.
Yep.
And he's calculating it better than I am. If it wins, it wins.
c4, pawn takes c4, pawn takes c4, f6, and white wins.
It seems
I did it
like
for
white
you,
should
Ben.
win. Yeah. He's probably doing a little more accurate calculation than that, but maybe not.
Seriously?
Maybe not.
You're saying
Maybe not.
2,800 players calculate more moves than that?
I'm guessing if rook g5 wins, he's going to play it.
Good guess. He's not
There's
thinking
probably
for
a lot
nothing.
of moves win, but if that wins, it wins the quickest.
It's not like he just thinks because he wants to run his clock.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and
Let's see how
Hydrogen
Armenian
Cube is
Akiba
negative.
is doing.
okay.
Rubinstein has not finished it off yet. Sargissian still working against Chu Rotong. Although, you know, when working is up 2 pawns, I'd like
That's
to go
some
to
good
work.
working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please. Send me to
5
work every
minutes
day.
and 24 seconds. Very Hikaru-esque.
Yeah. It's true.
So you think Hikaru's going to take on g5?
I think Hikaru is going to, after this game, send Sargissian a coaching email where he says, no, you're supposed to have 6 minutes and 12 seconds on your clock,
That's right.
not 5
That's
minutes and 9
Terrible.
seconds.
Yeah.
What did I teach you last week? Hikaru's still thinking about this thing, though. And Akiba just won on time. That was pretty good. He'll be like, but coach, I did get her to flag.
It's true.
Can't you ever acknowledge me? What do I have to do?
Man, look at this exchange sacrifice. Mamedyarov played against Michael Brown. Bam! Rook takes e3.
All right,
Oh,
hang on.
snap.
Gotta find it. Gotta
The
find it.
prototypical Benoni exchange sack something.
The
Something wrong.
prototypical. Where are you, Zary?
Wow. Good old Mamedyarov.
I thought I was following you. Show me
Wow.
what you got.
Rook takes e3.
Oh, I was following you. Here we are. Rook takes e3. What? Where did that come from, that rook takes e3?
Come on, that's your favorite move ever. I have a rule when I'm streaming, and I stream a lot. You can talk to my doctor about that.
Yeah.
My rule is if you can legally sacrifice the exchange, you must. So if I can sacrifice the exchange when I'm streaming every day, I do it. That's my rule. I have to do it.
So if your rook ever comes in contact with a knight or a bishop, he's gone.
I'm always taking it. Always. Gotta sack the exchange.
Wow. Have you asked your doctor about that?
Mamedyarov like, gotta sack the exchange.
I don't know.
Look at that compensation.
I don't know.
It's the dark squares. E5, D4.
I don't know.
He's too good.
What if white had just taken on e3 with the rook? What would he have done then?
Well, that nobody knows. Wait, can I play like bishop h6 or something and
But
triple,
then bishop
quadruple
takes d7.
suitor? Yeah, but I didn't see that.
And the other thing is, you were just saying you always sack the exchange. So my thought with rook
That's
e3
right.
is,
Well, I was trying to hook you up.
if
After
black
rook
ever
takes
goes
e3,
h6 or d4, I'm just doubling.
I guess I play knight
tripling
e5.
Knight e5, yeah.
Yeah, threaten the
then-
c4, g4, bishop h6.
So then
Too many threats.
then I just want to trade my rook for that knight, I guess.
Well, then black should be pretty happy, yeah?
Okay. All right.
I think so.
So anyway, he took with the queen, bishop came to d4, and then he had a big think, because you can't sack the exchange with your queen. So he's got to come up with
We haven't
something
talked about it because it's not super exciting, but Yangyi has really dismantled Mark Velashvili this game.
Yeah, I'd called it up.
I mean,
I
just
called it up
beautiful.
just moments ago, but
Yeah, I mean, just beautifully, like, was squeezing and squeezing and squeezing and more time, and it was just,
Yeah.
it was an awesome display.
all right.
Yeah, and he just
So the
resigned Mark
Pandas-
Velashvili.
the
It was
Pandas
just an
going
awesome.
blow for blow with the Sluggers so far.
Yeah.
The Sluggers relying on Hikaru to flag.
Yeah, what's
Sheng
going on
here.
around here?
He didn't
Rio
sack
Grande
on
is
the
up
queen
4.5,
side
3.5.
or on the king
San
side.
Diego's up 5-3. Yeah, Australia's
minute.
coming back and San Jose's falling back.
Man, do you like what he won with? Some kind of a Zugzwang or something? That's pretty sick. I guess he was going to play rook b7 to b6. So it's not
Oh, he
Zugzwang
didn't
when you have a way to
sacrifice.
win.
Yeah, he just squeezed him.
You just squeezed him.
Yep.
Let's just click through a little Hikaru technique real
He
quick. From where we
stalemated
were
him.
here.
Yeah.
He brought his king over, attacked the c-pawn. Oh, where did my game go? It's gone. It disappeared because I'm following a bunch of people.
Ah.
My stuff just comes and goes. Boom, boom, boom. Chess moves,
Boom.
chess moves. Who's playing? Oh,
It's gone.
Sarana looking for the Najdorf. Masieja won't give him. Come on, Masieja, you jerk. I wanted to see the Najdorf.
Hey, look at Kachian Vladi before it's over.
Instead, I have to look at your stupid queen on d3. All right. Where's
Wow, look at this game. Who's getting
Got it.
checkmated here? Who's done a piece? What's happening?
A2 looks like a problem.
Yeah, but White's up a piece, what, 2 pawns?
White is up a knight and some pawns, yeah.
And it's White's move. And Black has these negligible threats that are all checkmate.
Right. Well, he's got queen a2, and if you play a3, he plays queen a3 and still plays queen
Yeah.
a2. So I guess then, once his queen's on a3, you can look at moves like queen d8 check.
Yeah,
And see if that
then what?
fits.
King h7, queen takes b8.
Right.
That's good for White. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be good for
But
white.
if I play a3, can you play like rook takes b2 check?
You could. That seems relevant
I don't know.
to the
That's-
discussion.
Wow. Luke Harmon Vladi with his sacrificial attack.
Yeah, you know what might
And
even be
Hikaru
good then?
Khan.
Instead of queen a3, might be rook b5. That seems to force checkmate, disturbingly enough.
Right. Yeah.
Like king c1, queen c4, king e1, rook b2, king e3. I guess the king gets to f4. It's not immediately mate. Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay.
This seems, to me, it seems really good for Black. I'm glad I'm not playing.
Yeah.
Very glad.
Yeah. What you want to do is play like queen d8 check, rook takes d8, a3, and have black still take on a3 because they forgot you played queen d8.
Exactly.
I just don't feel that's a relevant scenario against somebody rated this high, though. All right, what's the Zeri chess up to? Michael Brown has finally retreated his queen. And the next piece came in. It's certainly easy to play your moves for black for like 2 or 3 moves in a row there. Knight comes in. Brown's back to thinking. Avoids knight takes c4.
No, Mamedyarov following the only important rule: always sack the exchange. Very important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean the position seems about equal, so why not play it like this?
Huh, Dreev versus Naroditsky. Naroditsky sacked a piece, I guess.
Jeez.
And he has all of his pawns still.
King.
Very confusing. Egrok versus Daniel Naroditsky is easy to find. Daniel Naroditsky.
Yeah, I feel like
these
he's
games
been
are very
too many
important.
pieces in these games lately.
Yeah, very important games.
I guess he's got 3 pawns in an endgame, so it's not so much of a sacrifice. But I would slightly prefer the bishop to the pawns.
Yep, I like pieces myself. So many crazy games. Has Malik moved?
Yeah, he finally played King
played
to
King
C1 there,
C1.
which is like trying to make Queen A2 less strong.
Trying to run away.
Yeah. It doesn't really make Rook B2 any less strong. I don't know what the plan is at all for white, though. I mean, looks like a continuing threat of murder from black, move after move here.
Wow, and Mamedyarov is still adding on the pressure.
I mean, let's say Queen C4 check. Where's he going?
Wow.
Ugh. Ugh.
No, it doesn't look good for white.
Queen C4, King D2.
Yeah. He's going to run to E3 and F4 as you suggested
Rook
earlier.
B2, King E3.
It's the safest place to go.
Yeah. I guess that's where he goes. All right, Mamedyarov building up pressure, you say, F5, and then Rook to F8. So looking at F4, F3 ideas probably, but then he just
and he just played 98. He wants
well.
to go to F6 and
yeah.
bring more pieces in. Look at white's pieces. Yeah. Bottled up on the back rank.
They're not doing nothing.
Nope. That exchange sack was great. All of black's pieces participating. His only possible saving grace, the bishop on F1. Always play bishop F1. But it looks pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look good.
So Dallas is up 5-2.5. So that doesn't look good for Vegas. Looks like Dallas is sailing into the playoffs. San Jose needs to turn it around against San Diego. They're down 5-3. Yeah. The Kangaroos are only down by 1 against Rio Grande. Seattle versus Chengdu is all tied up 4-4.
That's a close one. That's a close one at the halfway point.
And Seattle needs to win that match. They need it.
Well, I would say that a draw would be okay for Seattle, no?
They're trying to avoid...
Trying to stay ahead of the Ospreys.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the Ospreys off of them. All right, brown goes for G3. That's good. You want to put your pawns on dark squares to block some of those diagonals. Let your bishop cover the light squares.
I don't know. Man, weakens F3. Wow.
Yeah. But that's what the bishop has to cover, right? Then the bishop goes to like G2.
He's only got one bishop. Has to cover everything. Yeah. H3, F3, E4.
Yeah.
No, it's a really imaginative exchange sack. We've seen it before, but you really got a lot out of it.
There's 94. Ooh, I see the point here. The point is after he takes on E4, you check, king over, pawn takes E4, and then you've got this knight F3 threat, which is checkmate plus a triple fork. So there's really no move that does anything about it.
Man, this is harsh.
So I think we've gone from, it's, he's building up, it's getting scary. I think we've gone from that to like the KO moment. I think
His only hope is to sack the exchange back. Rook takes e4 and knight e3. Batten down the hatches. It's not going to work.
I don't think it's going to work, yeah?
No, it's not going to work.
Not going to work, okay.
Look at all of Black's pieces.
His only hope is
Morphy's giving the thumbs up. Every black piece attacking.
Yeah, I mean, knight d3 at the end of that, and
yeah,
b2's gone, and f2's in trouble.
I'm sorry, not Mamedyarov. Luke Harmon Velati won his game.
Yeah.
Kachian ran his king up the board, but he ended up hanging his queen. So, C4 is explosive.
He played queen b4.
Yeah, and then he played C4 check and won the queen. Very nice.
C2, rook a2, and the king still can't get anywhere because of c4. That was a nice way to cut him off, huh? The queen cut the king off from both d2 and d3. I noticed that after Kachian played king c1, Velati thought for like 2 minutes here. Just about. He really, actually 3 minutes. He really sort of figured out what he was going to do, found the kill. That was sick. I give him killer props for that.
Yeah, very nice. And we have 4 pawns for a piece. And Naroditsky
Naroditsky's got a 4th pawn now.
And there's 2 bishops against 1 knight with 4 extra pawns.
Yeah, but it's not feeling hopeless, is it? With 4 extra pawns.
Very, very confused.
All right, let's see where that 4th pawn came from.
Who's better and why?
The 4th pawn came from rook takes on e4. Good job, Danya. Good job. I approve.
Wow, and Dallas is up 7-0.
I approve of what he's done.
Wow.
So at least they got on the board, right? The Rats got from -1/2 to +1/2.
To half. There you go.
They've
as long as they don't insult Greg Shahadi, they're all set.
They've multiplied their starting score by -1. That's one thing you always want to look to do. And I feel like Naroditsky's got a shot here. And Azeri has more than a shot. He's somehow taken Brown's queen at this point. So how did that go? Knight e4, the queen just moved. Retreated his queen to h6. Still nothing really to do. The rook moves off c1 where it was threatened. Sack on f2 with knight g3 coming. There goes the queen. And then open everything up.
Wow.
I give Brown some props for that defense. I mean, he created a sort of a defense, but I think we've reached the end of it.
Yep. Yeah, queen e1's going to be annoying.
Yeah.
Yep, there's queen e1. That should be it, and that's it. Wow, what a masterful display by Mamedyarov.
That's what the hackers needed.
And they needed that.
A kill there, and they need Naroditsky
wow.
to really play this endgame nicely. What they would like is for him to somehow outplay Dreev and win this endgame. That's what all the hackers fans are hoping for here. And I don't think it's out of the question. I think he's got his chances in this endgame. It might even have the advantage at this point. I don't know. How many pawns before you give up on the bishop, Ben, and rather try playing black?
Two bishops. I'm a grandmaster. 2 bishops.
Yeah.
You can have 9 pawns as long as I have my 2 bishops.
Oh, okay. So you give black up to 9 pawns advantage before
you... At least 9 pawns. Minimum.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
It may sound crazy. It may be crazy,
yeah.
But it's crazy.
It does sound that, and it is that.
It is pretty crazy, yeah.
All right. I'm just clicking up a couple more games from the Seattle match here. I've got their top 2 boards in action. We've got Gabriel Sargissian now going up against Yangyi. So as we move into the 3rd round, we get a lot of these GM matchups that get pretty darn sick, like this Dreev game that we were watching. So far, not too much action in this double fianchetto King's Indian kind of thing here between Sargissian and Yangyi.
Yeah, they both have the same kind of style, slow positional maneuvering.
Yeah, both players pretty calm so far. So let's see if Hikaru is giving us some more action against Bai Jinshi.
Looks like a London.
Looks like a London. And looks reasonably balanced so far. Hikaru, I was going to say, he wants to clear the way for his F-pawn, maybe? Just kind of wondering on that. I mean, it can be a little bit hard to play f4 with the queen on b6. Things can go wrong. So it's not, I don't know. But what other plans is White looking at here?
White wants to play bishop f6 and knight d7. He's a simple man.
Okay, simple man. Bishop f6.
Also bishop f6 and bishop h7.
And either knight d7 or bishop h7. So his plan here is just...
Yeah, how do you stop them both?
A tactic coming up. Serving up a tactic here.
Can you stop them both?
I can't. Can you?
I can't either. That's too simple. Really? It's just that easy?
Well, you said always sack in exchange. So how about bishop g6, winning for black?
Yeah, there you go.
You take on f6.
That's not the kind of sack I had in mind, but yeah.
Knight d7. You could also just play knight takes c5
is already
for
winning
white.
tactically somehow, or there's some trick we don't see. I guess you just let him take on h7. So maybe something like, queen c7.
Queen c7.
And just let him take on h7.
But then you're definitely down a pawn, right?
Well, but you have a couple of threats. I just don't know what they are. Yeah, I think you're just down a pawn.
Yeah, I don't really see those.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you're just going to keep taking until he's up a pawn.
Well, that's a pretty good opening for Hikaru. 14 minutes plus left, and he's basically winning a pawn with a stock London game tactic. Rook c8 was not careful enough by black here after knight to e5. Rook a c8 is just not careful enough. He's got to just play bishop g6 or something at that point already.
And Dallas already won their match. They're up 8-0.
They won
so I guess that means the closest they can be is 8-7.5, right?
No, because Las Vegas started with -1/2, right?
Right.
So,
so even less, like 6.5? No, I think it's 7.5.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so that match is over.
7 games left.
Yeah, Dallas has already won.
Yeah.
And then San Jose, San Diego is a 1-point
That match
lead.
was sort of over from that first round we saw. I mean, brutality.
Well, the other 3 matches, all the results.
Yeah.
All results possible and will happen. That we can guarantee. We can't guarantee you much, but we guarantee all results. That we can guarantee. All right, so how's Danya doing with this 4 extra pawns?
Well, he's finally brought his king over to defend the knight, made room for b5. Dreev played a3, so there wouldn't be any knight b4 kind of shenanigans anytime soon.
I call shenanigans.
And he put his pawn on f4, so there wouldn't be any knight e5. So he's really... Oh, and now f5. I was going to say he's trying not to let Danya move his knight, but...
Knight f5, wow. He wants to walk his king up there.
Well, I would expect pawn takes f5, even though it's ugly.
And you were right.
Yeah. Sometimes you just take the thing, you know?
Hey, you take everything.
And then next,
Now, is he
you're
gonna
going
walk his
knight
king
e5.
up? He did walk his king up.
Oh, now the king's coming, yeah. Maybe now he could consider
I'd like
knight
to
e7.
point out for the fans, black still has all 8 pawns.
Now he could even play knight e7 to all 8 pawns, 35
It's like the
moves in.
Avalanche game. It's like Gufeld Kavalik, 1962.
Yeah. Wow. All right, comes here.
Also, I'd like to point out...
Oh,
for
this
the
has a
people
nice
watching,
tactic, Ben.
It's still theory. Yeah.
Check out the nice tactic. King f4.
Uh-oh.
Knight
D3,
e6.
is that your tactic?
King takes f5, question mark. Knight e7. King e4, f5.
Man,
And
that's
bishop
not
drops
nice.
off.
It's not nice.
So he's actually, with knight e5, he's keeping the white king at bay at the moment. And
Bishop d2.
this is not going to be easy for white. I think Danya has an advantage, a little advantage here. It's hard to win, though. Hard to win, though, with all these isolated pawns. He's going to need a little tactic at some point.
Well, Sargissian's game with Yangyi is really blown up.
Yeah, I saw there was some kind of tactic going on here with an e5 pawn sack. Things got serious. So, oh, c5 first from Sargissian. Trying to collapse the structure here. Now, the simpler response from Yangyi would have been pawn takes d4. but he wasn't afraid. He took on c5, takes e5, knight g4. e6, take on b2. Wow.
Wow, black has a lot of weak pawns, but at least black has an extra one.
Yeah. I mean, at any point here, Sargissian could have taken on f6 with check, not been down a pawn as well, right? So he really wanted to sack. Sargissian really like, he was hell-bent on being down a pawn with this way he played this.
Yeah, but look at the bishop on b7.
Yeah.
Not good.
Right. It's like, I'm down a pawn and you're down a bishop.
It's a Sargissian type of position. Trying to clamp his opponents.
Yeah.
It's the Armenian way.
So he's got e5 defended. Next up, he wants to maybe play h3, knight h6, and then switch knight e4 into the middle of the board.
Get that knight to d6. That looks nice for white.
Yeah, it does.
Looks tough to play black.
Let's see if Hikaru picked up the pawn he wanted. He did. So g takes f6 was the choice from Jin Shi. So just putting all his pawns in the center if he's not going to have any side pawns. Bishop h7. Back. He's got 2 files to work with for tactics. Yeah, that makes sense. Now he's trying to open all the diagonals too.
Wow, g takes c5. Wow.
Well, you know, Jin Shi actually managed to like accidentally put some pressure on Hikaru by losing that pawn, right? Like he forced himself into this position with the active rook on the king's side, and now he's got queen takes b2, and he's got his bishop on c5. It's like the worst thing that Hikaru could ever do was
no,
win.
this looks terrible for white.
I would think that black already has the advantage.
Yeah, he's not even up a pawn anymore. No, I agree. I prefer black.
Jeez.
What happened? What did I miss?
That happened really fast.
How did white's center fall apart?
Well, I'll show us again. So he played f4.
Yeah,
I guess
F4.
worried about h2, right? I mean, that's the problem with winning a pawn. Now you have to like defend stuff, which but even Hikaru, you know, in rapid chess is not going to enjoy that as much as being the one with active pieces. So he goes f4, and then Jin Shi suddenly switches, instead of playing rook c to g8 and stuff like that Hikaru might have been thinking of, or what we might do in a blitz game, he switches to attacking d4 a bunch, and he manages to open up this dark square diagonal.
Wow, that's a nice bishop on b6, a nice rook on h8. Nice. All of black's pieces are just perfect.
I like that he had the confidence to retreat the bishop from the knight and not just take on c3, but say, you know what, this bishop's really good. I'm going to keep him.
That's a great bishop, yeah.
It gives him all kinds of, you know, rook h2 moments that he could remember for the rest of his life.
All right, let's go back to Dreev Naroditsky because I need an adult.
All right, but first...
I need a lot of adults.
But first, Ben, just notice Hikaru's time. 2 minutes down.
Wow. I've never heard of it.
And before, he had, you know, over 14 minutes and just winning with an opening trap. All right. So, which game do you need an
this
adult
doesn't
on?
look good for Danya anymore.
All right, let's see.
Danya,
he's lost 2 of his 5 pawns.
Well, he had 8 pawns. Now he has 5. Darn. They both have no time on the clock. It's the 2 bishops. Yeah, this looks like only white's trying to win.
Yeah, that didn't go quite right, did it? All right, come back after the A pawn. Bishop C1 will probably be played.
Yeah, you want to keep all of your pawns if possible.
At least I don't see, you know, what black has against Bishop C1. Maybe marching as king.
Yeah, king E2 to D3 looks reasonable also. And now Danya has more time. Wow, what a position.
Yeah, it's coming down to some blitzing here.
He played A4. That makes
pawn
sense.
looks very vulnerable. Why does that make sense?
Yeah, I didn't even think of saving the pawn that way and keeping my bishop active.
But does it save the pawn?
20 seconds. A5. Here comes the pawn.
Wow. So
well, now black is losing a lot of his pawns on F6 and D6 and D4. Maybe black's A pawn could become strong. Or maybe not.
Yeah, I think eliminating White's A pawn is one big step towards
good question.
Black's A pawn getting involved.
So if d5, I can play bishop c5.
Mm-hmm.
Man, 2 bishops. That's a lot of bishops. 13 seconds to 18. All 3 results possible.
Yeah. I feel happier as Black losing that d6 pawn than I would have felt losing the f6 and d4 pawns. But we'll see. King c4.
How do you not play king a5 immediately? I just okay,
because the knight's defending the pawn.
Why. That's a good reason.
So he can just do whatever he wants here. 10 seconds to 8. I think I'm going to call a draw. I think somehow he'll just draw it.
Somehow.
Somehow. What is that? What? Why didn't he?
What? An extra piece is an extra piece is an extra piece.
I guess so.
Also, it's an extra piece.
Well, that's what you keep saying.
1 second, Tanya, move. Wow, he did it with less than a second.
Less than a second.
And Dreev's going to do the same. Wow.
Yep. Is there something wrong with knight c4? I guess White can trade it. So that's why he's not going knight c4. All right, so now they make some fast moves. Danya's fast. Danya's definitely fast. d3 check. Here it comes. Boom, boom, boom. Something. Don't flag.
Wow,
I know you were thinking about flagging. Knight takes d3 is playable.
It's just a draw. Oh, you queen. Okay, so
that
it's just
works
a draw.
too.
So you were right.
Yep.
You predicted a draw, although it's not a draw yet. But
yeah, but I'm going to give you this one. This one's a draw.
Seems likely. Wow. I really didn't think it was going to be a draw. I thought somebody would win.
Yeah, I just thought White had a bishop pair, but only 1 pawn. It's like it's hard to sneak by that bishop pair. It's also hard to like win a game when you only have 1 pawn on the board. It's like really, really tough. Danya's still making some moves, but I'm gonna call this. You know, I'd rather see how Hikaru defends. Oh, but they tell me to show the final positions, I guess. All right, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Move, move, move. Tick, 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 tick.
Will they get to move 100 is the only question. Every game of this match is critical for both teams. I mean, San Diego wants to win, and I guess they can't catch the Pandas because of tie breaks, but
right.
San Jose needs to win.
San Diego, they're in good shape, but San Jose, they're the ones who need everything they can get. This seems pointless. I'm done with this, man. It's a draw.
Naroditsky offers a draw and is accepted.
I managed to wait long enough to see it agree to a draw.
Wow.
So if I pop over to Hikaru's game, we'll see how he defended this situation that looked kind of bad for him, right? The first thing he did was he recognized this knight was inferior
and now he's winning
bishop.
with an easy tactical trick f5. Wow.
He brings it into the middle. Now it gets traded. Queen centralizes on d4, takes, rook b1. And now rook c7 looks like a mistake from Bai Jinshi. You're calling f5 easy. I have to agree. That's about as simple as it comes. So
it was funny. We were like, he played bishop b6 and kept his bishop, and he immediately traded it.
Why did he trade it? Was that the best option there? I guess the fear was queen c3, knight e6 check.
Yeah, he couldn't figure out the tactics, so he just took the knight.
Maybe he just had to be open to allowing knight e6 and not taking the knight, right?
Yeah.
Then like you play king g8, and what does White do?
Wow, Hikaru made that look easy from a really bad position to a simple win.
It's one of those things where as soon as you're winning, you mess up.
He was afraid of rook b7 check, but
yeah,
f5 is pretty simple.
It is.
Wow.
We're in agreement on that one. Let me show you something else that's happening.
These games are really important.
Has had 2 seconds against Sargissian for a while here in this crazy position. But he's now actually managed to negotiate all the tactics and end up with an extra knight.
Yep.
They had this weird system of cross pins, and he had a couple seconds against 5 minutes, and somehow he comes out with the extra piece. Sargissian is not quite delivering what the Kangaroos need. The match is close, though. I mean,
it's a tied match, and San Diego's up 7-5 against San Jose. The Pandas in Seattle are all tied.
All right, so there's a point. There's a point for the Ospreys. They take it into the last round with a 1-point lead, 6.5 to 5.5, 4 games to play. And yeah, let's see how Hikaru's board 2 is doing. Sargissian up against the Panda. The Panda in charge, Yangyi, he's up 1 pawn still. That's how Sargissian wanted it, but he got rid of that bishop on b7.
But white won the exchange, or black sacrificed it.
Sacking exchange should do it. That's another thing you like.
The rule. And now black has the initiative.
Let's see how he managed to do it. e5, rook f5, going after that pawn. Bishop h3, h5, okay. Knight h4, c4. That rook was never meant to survive on f5. Never meant to survive. Always there to die. B takes c4, c5. He just sacks everything to get that bishop back open. And
yeah, and after f5, Hikaru's opponent resigned.
Starts to introduce queen c6 as a threat. Yeah, we didn't miss any moves here. f5, and that was it. Queen c7, queen g6. You know, if you allow queen takes rook, you're down a rook. If you move the rook, check here, and rook b8, also over. So Akiba, bishops trade, knight e5.
Oh no, Sargissian played f3.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't want Yangyi to take over this diagonal. It was a real issue. It was truly an issue.
I don't know, this looks tough for Yangyi.
Well, I've got a cool idea for Yangyi if you think it looks tough for him. How about
rook
to d8? How about rook d8? And then...
Rook d8?
Rook d8.
Wow.
Then if you take my knight, I want to go queen c6 check. Then I want you to move your king to like g1. And then I want to play rook d2.
You would want to do that.
Will you do everything I want?
Sure, why not?
All right, I win.
Nice.
But if we look at this idea more critically, on king h3, then pawn takes g4 check, king h4, and I don't know, also seems potentially promising for black.
Yeah, that's all crazy. Everything's crazy.
Too crazy?
Everything's crazy.
Maybe knight f7 would be nice there, just covering the escape square on g5, and then you sort of mate at your leisure.
Very suspicious variations. I like them.
Suspicious, huh? You don't take
the board matchups are going on in the San Diego San Jose match.
Right,
Dreev,
Sadorra,
Mamedyarov, Naroditsky and Brown, Azoria and Kirwa. It's the last round. This Seattle match with Chengdu has been tied up the whole time. 2-2, 4-4. Seattle's taken the lead 5-4 after Hikaru's swift victory from a bad position.
Look at Mamedyarov's opening. We got another b3 f4 monstrosity headed our way. Love it.
Monstrosity, but he loves it.
Love it. So the pressure's on e5, d6. I assume bishop to b5, and then what? f6? How do we hunker down here? I mean, Dreev is he's really got a lot riding on being able to defend this e5 pawn. He kind of said, I'm not worried. I can hold this thing. Mamedyarov trades before going bishop b5. Huh. In case of f6, he doesn't want fe at some point. So that means that f6 really is in the offing, possibly, for Dreev. He may have to resort to it. Let's see. Chess Panda, instead of playing rook d8, has played knight d3, capturing the rook on e1. Okay.
So black is still a pawn up, but his knight on g4 looks like it has very few squares.
Fairly logical. I think, yeah. Okay, queen b2. I think he might be able to just play queen c6, rather than moving the knight.
Yeah.
Because, you know, then the white king has to find somewhere else if it really wants to kick your knight.
After queen c6, I can play h3.
Right, you're like, okay, I'll kick you with the other pawn.
Then if you play knight h6, I'll play queen f6.
I do not want your queen there, to be honest.
No, that looks... I'm scared.
Yeah, I do not...
That's very scary.
I do not approve of that. All right. After one variation that you've shown me, I am now worried.
Yeah.
Very worried for Yangyi.
Yeah, his king isn't the safest.
He might be getting Sargissian here.
Not a safe king. And the time situation is also treacherous.
Maybe he needed to consider my way.
It's your way or the highway.
I mean, my rook d8 move was pretty suspicious. I could tell that you were having none of it. To me, it looked cool. You know, somebody else's pieces, you know, maybe get a tactic.
It was genuine frontier gibberish. That's what it was. Genuine. As Gabby Johnson once said.
All right. What's Mamedyarov's opening look like? So he goes fe5, knight e5. Stuff gets traded already. Then now there's no bishop b5. That's not cool. Knight c3, knight h6, queen f3, castles, bishop c4. Unusual. I gotta say it's unusual.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, you gotta deal with unusual things like castling queenside, bishop g4. It's just all this new stuff to.
David, this is Mamedyarov's preparation for the candidates. That starts in 3 days.
Yeah.
So this is his last game before the candidates, I guess.
Got to give it a trial run.
Yeah. Well, he says b3 f4. Let's see if this works.
Got to make sure it's good enough for a blitz game before you trot it out against Caruana in a.
That's right.
In a normal game, or Aronian. Aronian's watching right now too. He's not playing in the pro chess league in order to get an advantage over all the other candidates.
Exactly.
Just watch.
Who you got in the candidates, David? What do you think?
Aronian.
You got Aronian?
Come on, he's lurking now, studying Mamedyarov's preparation.
You know who I got.
Who do you have?
I got last year's Pro Chess League champion on board 1, Wesley So.
Wesley So.
Go Wesley.
You're blinded by your team.
Come on, St. Louis Archbishops of last year, me and Wesley So.
I thought you were asking me who I think will win, not who do I like the best.
Oh, well, that's different. Yeah.
Which one were you answering?
Yeah. Go Wesley. That's both of my answers.
Both of your answers.
I'm all in on Wesley. All in.
All right. It looks like you Yangyi's down a piece. Let's see. That's kind of how it was.
Yeah, he is down a piece. Yeah.
So he played queen c6.
But he's giving 6-1 time odds.
h3, just like you predicted from Sargissian. Rook d8 gives up the knight.
Wow, Sargissian's pretty good up a piece.
King f7. The thing is, he's got 2 pawns for it, and it's still a bit messy. So this was maybe not the worst practical choice for you, Yangyi. Compared to retreating his knight and allowing queen f6, right? Which would be kind of a...
Yeah, that wouldn't have been good.
Kind of a coup de grace. So, all right. So he's still in it for the moment. This knight on d2 still...
He's in it to win it.
Not showing its full potential. He's looking
How about knight b3? And then if you take on c4, I have knight a5.
That is an important consideration because he played rook d4.
Yeah, he did do that.
He played rook d4 as if he wanted to threaten the c-pawn, but...
Yeah, now I'm going to play queen e5.
Doesn't look like that would work.
And then he's going to... Queen h8? Wow, there's going to be some fist pounding.
Uh-oh.
It's not good.
Uh-oh.
Queen e5 looks pretty good.
I thought he might need to resort to f4 there, but he's just retreating rook d8. What do you think? Was it not time for f4?
I didn't even see f4.
Okay.
That would have been more interesting.
Yeah. All right, so rook d8. Now you would suggest queen e5 for white, huh?
Yeah, I would suggest it.
Centralization, as recommended by Nimzovich.
Yep, and he played it.
And he played it.
On f3.
All right. I assume you're allowed to take on f3 if your opponent's played f3.
Yeah, just never play f3. Taking on f3 is great.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so... he's choosing between rook f3, knight c5.
So Seattle's up 1. If they win this game, they're up 6-4. Rio Grande's up 6.5, 5.5 against Australia. San Diego's up 7-5 against the Hackers. There's still lots to play for.
Man, if Seattle gets this, they're looking good. I mean, despite the Pandas being the #1 team all season, when I saw the lineups today, when I saw Hikaru plus Sargissian, I thought this could be the round. This could be the round where the Pandas lose. Yeah, it goes rook f3 and g4. I like it. I like the tear 'em up approach here.
The tear 'em up approach.
Yeah.
Not very friendly. I like it.
Right. So now he gets Lots of pawns.
What did I miss? I missed rook f3, a5, g4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trades it. So here, if knight c5, there's rook d2. I was thinking he would take on f5 first here.
Mm-hmm. And you were correct.
And then if
you are correct, sir.
And then if a4, you want to go for a string of like pawn takes e6 check. If king takes, then knight c5 with check, and so on.
Yeah, I think resigns is a good move.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that's the move.
I think he'll go.
Oh, I was wrong.
Oh, I didn't get.
How could I be so wrong?
Did something else first. I thought he was going to go.
F5, I wonder.
I thought he was going to go a4, pawn takes, pawn check, king e7.
Well.
But it was losing too.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah.
All right, so now it seems like
it's all bad.
Pretty clean cleanup.
Yeah.
Clean up on aisle 3.
Rook takes f5 check. Good
or in
move.
this case, on the 5th rank.
Mm-hmm. Man, tough position. It's rough, I tells you.
Okay, so rook c5, a4. Is that a problem or not? If it's a problem, he'll play rook f3, a4, rook e3 check.
Well, knight c5 is also check.
Yeah. I think rook f3 makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Rook h5 looks good too.
Yeah.
He's taking his time, very professional.
Taking his time.
There's no hurry. Tons of time on the clock. He's going to play the most accurate way.
I hadn't seen Yangyi lose in a while.
Now move your king. King
now
e3.
Move your king, yeah.
I guarantee it. If you don't like it, I'll guarantee you something else.
Yeah, on king e3, I would.
Got to move your king up. There you go. Good job. I'm an old man. I play king e3. Every legal move is good.
Yeah, you no longer have any preference. Play whatever you like.
Everything's good. Yeah. Now he's not resigning because it's a team tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. I agree. Man, Mamedyarov's game is getting weirder and weirder.
It is. That's what I was thinking about too. I was going to ask you, how do you like knight to d1?
Wow. Wow. Knight d1, knight h6. What do I tell my kids at the camp? Don't do that.
Do that, but make 2800 first.
That's right. Then you can do it. Yeah. Then you have my permission.
Well, I think the knight would be pretty decent on e3. Pretty decent. I still don't know which way Mamedyarov's planning to castle. I don't know really what any of his plans are. He must be thinking that Dreev's bishop's headed to e6, and then he wants to bring his knight to c4. Ooh. Watch out for that one. Watch out for that one. Saw it.
I'm looking at Chu Rutong versus Mark Velashvili because Rutong has 4 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
Although she is up a pawn.
Seriously?
4 seconds. Black has the 2 bishops, 2 passed pawns. Has a minute left. These games are important.
It's messy, but you're right. It's all important.
These games.
Well, actually, as I'm counting it, isn't material equal?
Yeah, I can't count. Who did I think was up a pawn? White? Yeah, I thought White had 4 pawns.
Okay.
And those 2 bishops just confused me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you count pawns better than I do. C4, it's explosive.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is looking rough for White.
Rook h5 seems pretty simple.
I like Rook b2, but
Bishop
that's me.
g3
Bishop
is pretty sick too, actually.
Everything's good.
Yeah. That deals with a lot of White's options. And you just come back. Yep. Simple, simple.
But she's playing fast. Uh-oh. Oof. Man, harsh.
Oh. Big point for the Sluggers. Another big point.
Yeah. So when Yangyi wins this game, they're up
Check.
7-4. Wow. It went from 4-4 to 7-4.
Yeah, they're having a big round here.
And she's gonna. Oh, I thought she'd resign, but or lose on time.
Yeah, well, Georgie's got an extra rook, so it's not going to need much.
He knows
more.
how to use it.
Yeah, that's critical too. If you didn't know the rule about how rooks move,
that's right.
It would be of limited use to have an extra one. Man, chess can be brutal.
7-4.
Boom. Sad way to go. All right, let's see what's up here with Dreev. His knight got off of h6. So first, d3. He traded off the knight on d1. Then he came for b5. Wow, what a sequence he initiated, all on purpose. Lets the bishop come to d5.
All on purpose, I like it.
Follow up knight f5. Yeah. So perhaps the idea is to trade the bishop on d5 with knight e7 if white doesn't take. But white did take.
It was all super complicated, and they got to the simplified endgame.
Yeah. And now it's not super complicated. e4. Trading more stuff. It feels like Dreev's playing for a draw. He's confident in his young guns.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his team overall doesn't need him to win with black against Mamedyarov to get the job done.
Hey, we have a rook and knight versus rook.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Megan Lee has a drawn position against Zhu Zhangyu.
Oh, let's see that.
Wow. They both have seconds left.
Her king is in a spot of trouble. But
Wow, they both have seconds left.
she still shouldn't lose.
Nope, it's a drawn position.
Oh, is that okay?
Whoa, hang mate in one.
I don't
Wow,
think so.
that wasn't good. But I think still a draw if she played king a7. Wow. Wow, that could be important too. That could be an important point.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it 7-5 for Seattle. And Dreev's trying to draw this position by trading and trading and trading and trading and trading.
Mm-hmm.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah. F6. Locking in the back rank. Always a little bit worrisome.
Yeah, we're coming to a close here, and we still don't know what's happening. We don't know.
We still don't know what's happening. We don't know who's going to be in the playoffs.
All we know is Dallas won their match against Vegas. That's all we know.
I guess if San Jose loses to the Surfers, they will definitely not be in the playoffs. So the
Is
Hackers,
that right? Yeah, I agree with that.
Absolutely need to come back here against
That's right.
against Dreev and Co. So we need some magic here from Mamedyarov to win this thing here. It's definitely winnable now with the pawn on f6.
It's
I mean,
an annoying
there's all
pawn on
kinds of
F6,
different things that can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm concerned. Once the pawn came to f6, I got my first concerns. Dreev seemed really confident with all the middle game maneuvers. But that's a little worrisome. Let's see, his board 2, Daniel Naroditsky against Michael Brown. He's got a rating edge. This is a point they really need this late in the match. And it looks like madness.
It looks good for White. Black's king is getting a little exposed there. White's king is perfectly safe.
But it's got to be very concrete, right? With bishops hanging for both players.
Everything's hanging.
Because, you know, there's like bishop f2 check here. There's king h6.
Yeah, but bishop f2, I take with the queen. I take on f6. Seems good for white.
It might be. Black would need a big move in that position. I was thinking just queen b6 at the end of that.
All right, Azoria knows the Feingold rule.
Oh, yeah?
Very good. He sacrificed the exchange. His opponent resigned. Good job. It wasn't really an exchange sacrifice.
I guess not, if the guy
Rook
resigned.
takes d4. There we go. Very nice tactical move. Beating Kirwa in 20 moves with black.
Wow.
That's important.
Wow. Okay, that's a big point for them. That gets them only down one. The other game here is Joshua Sheng against Soggy Cheese.
San Diego's up 7-6 against San Jose.
And this one looks a little more positional.
A little more soggy?
Yeah. Looks like the Soggy one tried to play something like a King's Indian defense. I never approve. Unless you're Hikaru and you get some kind of crazy checkmate.
And then you approve. Yeah.
But, you know, in just normal maneuvering, I don't particularly approve of this opening. Anyway, we'll check back on the cheese later. Let's see what Mamedyarov's up to. It looks like he's into activating his king once again. King f1. Rook e7. Yeah, I think if you take on e7, you lose.
Yeah, I take bishop f6 and I push the d pawn. Doesn't seem good.
The black pieces can't move, and Donna has her day. So, rook d3 and rook d6 are probably the... No, rook d3 is probably the main line. I mean, a5 is playable if rook d3 is bad.
Yeah, that pawn on f6 is really annoying.
Really annoying.
Yeah, and Danya's position is consolidated position a lot now.
Yeah, he just made a simple trade, right? He took on h6, moved his
Black's
queen
king is
back
permanently bad.
What's that?
Black's king is permanently bad.
Yeah, he's definitely a little bit worse even this way, but it's
F6,
not,
G6,
it's not totally critical yet. It is tough. It is tough. And that's an evil probing move. Oh, wait. Did you know that Danya was white? So he's the one with the better position? Okay.
Yeah, this position looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they need every point there. I mean, San Diego's trying to win the league, but I mean, San Jose is trying to get in there. They're trying to get in the playoffs.
Jesus, the Destiny are up to 10 points.
Is it 10 to a half?
10 to a half.
Man, harsh.
Yeah.
Will they be complaining about giving up that half?
Bad day for the Rats. I mean, I don't think the half point's going to matter in the final standings here to anybody, right? The Destiny will make the playoffs for sure, but they will not catch up with both San Diego.
And Sadorra is about to be Kachian. That's another point for Dallas. Wow. Rook and 2 versus Rook. 2 pass pawns.
Yeah. Okay. Back to Mamedyarov. A5 has been played. So now he could play King E2. He could play Rook B7.
Wow, there was a really quick draw in Yangyi versus Nakamura.
Uh-oh. I didn't even
That game ended in 16 moves in a theoretical position.
Wow. Okay. So the top boards are not going to slug this one out. Sluggers are ahead by 2, so maybe
that was good for Nakamura. He had black, and he needed that draw.
Yeah,
closer
black,
to
and his team's
8.5 points.
looking good. I mean, as long as the Osprey are ahead of the Kangaroos, you know, Seattle needs to play it careful, I think. And I guess that's what Hikaru did by taking that draw. And then he can, you know, probably rely on Sargissian to play a good game as well. So, yeah. We'll see. I mean, the Sluggers are not worse on any board in this match, really. I mean, just, you know, by the players that they have playing today. So it's going to be really tough for Chengdu to make up a 2-point deficit.
Chengdu's going to have to kill it the last round. That's right.
Yeah. All right, Bai Jinshi with this famous knight c4 maneuver. If you don't know it, then it's not that famous to you, but it is still a thing that happens in these queen pawn openings. Happens in Queen's Indians, happens in Queen's Gambits. And there you go. That knight on d2 just got way better. You could have also played knight f3 to e5.
That's not funny at all, though. This is much
less fancy, but
much fancy. That's right.
But Jinshi wanted you guys all to know about this, so we thank him. Right. Oh, sorry, I didn't even explain to you guys why it's a thing. It's because bishop takes b7. So often when there's a piece hanging on b7 or a8, you can actually play knight c4 in this opening.
Joshua Sheng is really squeezing Vanessa Ravuri. He's got the D file. He's got the 7th rank. He has 7 minutes to 1. It's looking good for the surfers.
Yeah, King's Indian defense things. When your
pretty
bishop on
tough board
g7 is terrible, and
that's the big advantage they have this match is their board 4 is a lot higher rated than the other team's board 4.
Yeah,
they have to win the last round. I mean, they have to show why they're putting a higher rated board 4 on the team.
Yeah, the surfers are ahead 1 point, so they've got 7. If Sheng can win this, then it gets them to 8, which is starting to get into the magic numbers, 8 and 8.5 here, which will either draw you a match or win you a match.
It's not looking good for San Jose.
No. They got some work. They got some work to do.
Big playoff implications.
But, I mean, I think they've got the advantage on boards 1 and 2, so they've got the shot.
This looks like Dreev might be losing his bishop on f8.
Let's see.
It's Mamedyarov.
He took on d3 and b3, and I don't know, g5 doesn't get rid of back rank mate in any way. So there's still this bishop c5 problem, which could win the bishop and or checkmate.
Yeah, he's giving away a piece and hoping his pass pawns on the queen side can save the day.
Looks like he just played h6. So
yep,
he's clearing.
This king's going to run to g6. He's going to push
g6, get out of mate. Gotta get the heck out of checkmate. And then he's got 2 queenside pass pawns against a bishop, which is some practical complications, but basically winning for white, I would say.
Should be winning, but yeah, there's some chances. Yeah, Naroditsky's looking good against Brown, and Sheng's looking good, so that could be a point each.
All right, so rook to d8. It could finish 8-8, right? That's possible.
That's possible.
It's starting to look
we
possible.
Have more than one match finish 8-8.
Got rook c8, rook d8. Does he have any kind of a tactic here? Any genius powder? I don't really see anything decisive, but maybe trade rooks and play queen to a3. Because the black queen can't go defend the a pawn while defending the f pawn.
I was thinking queen to f4.
Queen to f4, just
I want to attack
up on f6.
Or queen c3, something. I think f4 is better. He did play queen f4.
Okay.
Yeah, this looks tough for black. Those knights are really tripping over each other. Knight on d5 is a monster.
Yeah, the knight on d5 is super good. I think knight f6 check and g4 doesn't work at all. I mean, it's a bad idea anyway because you don't want to trade all this. But
Right.
queen d4, queen c7 check. There's queen g7, and the knight can always.
No, knight f5 was a good move. I don't think it's enough, but getting the knight to d4 is important. Get some active play.
So maybe if white goes for like bishop e4 or something, if he ever plays bishop takes f5, black can just play queen takes d5. So that's not that effective. And instead, he now goes to attack the a pawn.
I know it doesn't matter for anything, but Dallas is up 11-1/2, which is funny.
Yeah. Another point scored.
I've never seen that before in the Pro Chess League or the U.S. Chess League.
No.
Any chess league.
No, this may be the
Dallas
highest
is really
racked up score of all time.
putting their foot on their throat. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. Australia's still down 1 point against Rio Grande. San Jose's down 1 point.
Yeah.
And Chengdu's down 2 points.
That's going to be so relevant. I mean, if San Jose ties this match with the Surfers, which would be my current guess would be that you see this queen maneuver coming in, hitting the pawns. My current guess would be that this match will end 8-8. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing it yet or anything, but it feels quite possible. In that case, if the Kangaroos lose, they'll lose on tiebreak. So the Kangaroos will need to like come back in their match against Rio Grande. They will need to not lose.
That's right, because San Jose had great tiebreaks. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had lots of game points.
Yeah. I flashed the standings for everyone for a second. See what I'm talking about with San Jose here. Half a point behind the Kangaroos. If they draw their match, they've got 5 match wins. Obviously, a couple extra game points. So if the Kangaroos lose, they'd be donezo.
Wow. In actual games played, forget about what they did before. Dallas won 15-1. That's over.
It's all come home to roost. 15.
Wow. They won 15-1 in the 16 games that were played. That's amazing.
Dreev is struggling here to try and get this draw against Mamedyarov. He lashes out with h5 over here on the king side, trades some pawns.
He's trying hard.
h3. So it looks like Mamedyarov wants to take care of the queen side, and he's going to try and win with just the f pawn, right? That's his guy.
That should be enough.
It's just me, my bishop, and my f pawn against the world. It's logical, but rook b5 here would be a mistake.
That would be an interesting blunder.
That was pretty clever of Dreev to set up that rook check before playing rook takes h5.
Yeah, and if king g4, king g6. I mean, if you don't have any pawns, you're not going to win. You play king g3. I mean, this is good drawing chances. Bishop e7's forced.
It sure
He's got to save his last pawn.
Yeah, if you got to, you got to. So,
would
you play g4 to defend the queen side? Let the g pawn go and save the queen side? That felt like the thing to do to me.
Yeah.
But apparently not.
Well, 5 seconds left.
Yeah, it's true he has 5 seconds, but Dreev, you know, if he's playing on his endgame instincts are pretty darn good.
That a pawn's pretty strong.
Joshua Sheng has won the game against Sluggers, as we kind of expected. I guess at some point he won on time, but it looks like he had a good position on the board as well.
Maybe Dreev was right. That a pawn's pretty strong.
So that's 8 points for the Surfers here.
Yeah, they already have 8.
8 to
6.
So the best that the Hackers can do is draw this match 8-8, which is what they should do.
Yeah, Naroditsky's up 2 pawns and has an extra minute.
Did you just say that Dreev's instincts may have been right about?
Yeah, maybe that a pawn's pretty strong.
Just getting the a pawn one step further up the board and stacking the b pawn.
And now Mamedyarov has less than a minute. Can Dreev save the day for the Surfers?
Thinking here what to do. If he goes rook a3, then he loses the f6 pawn, and that's a draw. With no
I mean, drawing a piece-down ending against the #2 player in the world.
And if he goes
Dreev's no spring chicken.
A3, then it's hard to ever make progress with these pieces.
He did take
ways to do it, but let's see what's happening. He did take with the bishop. Yeah, that seems the way to go if you want to try to save this.
He's going to pin again.
You got to do that. Now, at some point, I think you want to...
3 seconds.
Oh, man, I thought he wanted to go rook a8, but something else is happening. Threatening rook g5. Oh, he untangled. He untangled. But his pawn on f6 was hanging.
We just took the pawn, yeah.
Well, that's not going to do it for San Jose, is it?
No, he's not going to lose this position. He's going to draw.
Oh, man. He just did it. With seconds on the clock, he just destroyed San Jose's season.
Yeah.
With just seconds. And a seemingly losing position against the number 2 player in the world. Meanwhile, his teammate, Michael Brown, is down 2 pawns now against Naroditsky. So, I mean, it looks like this will probably be a win for San Jose. And the whole difference will be this one.
Yep.
How does Rook get out to F6? Oh, man. I can't help feeling like Mamedyarov could have put more pressure on him.
1 second.
1 second.
Wow.
Okay, 0.5. Okay.
With half a second left.
So who knows?
That's incredible.
He just needs to keep playing a little bit faster.
Almost lost on time there. And finally, he's going to play F5. Finally.
Yeah.
There we go.
He's just got to get his time up a little bit.
Now black plays for the win. Nice strong pawns.
Yeah.
King G4. Black's better. Yep.
Bishop B2, King G4, yeah.
No, I mean, he probably just sack his bishop now. He's playing for mate.
Yeah,
always play for mate.
You want to save that mate, use it a little bit
always
later.
Play for mate. Now King G4.
Right.
Check him away.
Be gone, foul king. Be gone.
That F-pawn's pretty strong. Now stop it.
Gotta stop it. Don't let it do that. Ooh, F2 was playable there.
Yep.
Pretty sure.
At least playable.
Pretty sure there was nothing wrong with F2 there.
No. And Dreev's got 10 seconds now.
Yep. That'll do it for him. That's all he needs. All right. So we aren't watching them, but the Kangaroos have just made it into the playoffs.
Really?
Here. Yeah.
The Kangaroos.
Based on Dreev drawing this.
Oh, if Dreev draws.
If Dreev draws this, then they make it into the playoffs while maybe losing to the Ospreys today.
Mamedyarov still giving it the old college try.
Yeah, but I think he's kind of out of things to do at this point.
Yeah, there's nothing much to do here. Yeah. That was just great defense by Dreev. Amazing.
Yeah.
I guess Mamedyarov of all people. Man, black just sits. Black's position's pretty good. Rook G2, pawn G4, pawn F3.
Mm-hmm. Give some checks. Man, Dreev knows it all. Wait.
Wow.
That F-pawn's coming
now it's getting tough.
That F-pawn's coming now.
I don't know. F2's coming. Is black winning? Is black winning? I think black's winning.
I think so too.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter for them. They have, I mean, he can't. Yep.
Yeah.
And he won.
Boom.
Wow. Well, okay, Mamedyarov knew if he drew that it was no good. Yeah, he knew that if he drew it was no good. Yeah.
Oh la la.
Wow. Great defense by Dreev. Amazing.
San Diego. The other thing that might have just gone on there is San Diego might have just won the Pacific Division and gotten themselves the top seed.
Because Chengdu's going to lose to Seattle?
Well, I mean, Chengdu would need to win to keep up with them now, right? Even a draw won't be enough for Chengdu. And they're down 2 points. So, actually, I mean, as these final results come in, it's deciding everything at once. So, San Diego has just won the Pacific Division.
And Naroditsky did win.
Naroditsky did win.
So it's 9-7 San Diego, right? That's the final?
Yep. That's the final.
So San Jose losing puts Australia in the playoffs.
Yeah, Australia's in
Seattle
the playoffs.
Winning,
they're down 2 points against the Osprey. I mean, they were about to lose this match.
Right. And then Seattle gets to stay in the league. Is that what's going on?
And Seattle will stay in the league.
Yeah.
While also keeping the Pandas from winning the division.
From winning the division, yeah. And San Diego wins the division.
Sargissian drew his game with Bai Jinshi in some complicated position. I don't know why it was or was agreed to draw already. I guess Sargissian had a decent position, thought it was a good time to just agree to a draw since his team was ahead. We've got Smirnov
That is
and
a good
Margvelashvili still
Yeah.
playing. So let's see how these guys are doing. Margvelashvili,
So Seattle's up 8-6.
solid.
Now, if somehow Chengdu wins the last 2 games and it's 8-8,
Yeah.
Seattle still stays in the league,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And Chengdu still doesn't win because they
Yeah.
needed to win their match and San Diego won their match.
Exactly.
So it
I
doesn't
think-
affect anything if no matter what happens here. Chengdu wins both, loses both. It doesn't affect relegation or playoffs or
Right.
first place.
I think Dreev just decided every single result
Yeah,
for the whole
that's
night
right.
with one
winning down a
miracle
piece
draw.
and ending with Mamedyarov with black.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I say miracle draw, but he did technically
Yeah.
win the game. But I mean,
right.
Mamedyarov could have drawn that if his team didn't need a win. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at Masieha against Smirnov now, and Masieha has, or Machea, well, I don't know.
I say Machea, you say Masiea. Let's call the whole thing off.
So he's down a pawn. Smirnov is down a pawn right now for
Right.
the Kangaroos.
And he has 3 minutes compensation.
Yeah, they're kind of just gradually subsiding into their playoff spot here through no exploits of their own today. But as often is the case, Smirnov, he's often down a little material, but ahead on time. I have
Yeah,
seen
this
that
position looks really
situation
bad.
before.
This looks terrible for White.
Yeah, his bishop's
Terrible.
no competitor for the knight. C3's under pressure. I mean, if the Osprey had a bunch of time on his clock, we'd be betting on him. As it is, can't be sure just yet. Is the A pawn poisoned some way? Is there a reason why Monsieur is not taking it? Goes for another thing. Whoa. All right.
Yeah, it looks
Now-
like he could just take it. Yeah.
now his idea is on rook e3. He finally has to move b4 to defend the knight. So you can pin it all you want. You're never going to win it.
Pin it and don't win it. I never heard that.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
That's the stuff they don't teach you.
That's right. They teach me something else.
Well, nice.
So San Diego
Showing.
wins the Pacific.
Yeah.
Chengdu comes in second.
Right.
And Dallas and Australia complete the playoff picture.
Right.
And
I think that San Diego gets like a bunch of pretty serious prizes for finishing first. I think there's, I may not know all the rules of the playoffs exactly correctly, but I think that they may get to play like their pick of fourth seeds by being the number 1 seed. Like they might get to play a 4th seed instead of, if you're the 2nd seed, like Chengdu will now be. Chengdu will have to play a 3rd seed. So I think that the Surfers get to play a 4th seed by being the 1st seed, and I think they get draw odds in the first round of the playoffs.
that's easy for you to say.
On an 8-8 match, they just cruise on to the next one. All right, meanwhile, Smirnov throwing some random things. I don't see why he can't play knight takes d5. Okay, knight d4 hitting everything. That's because I wasn't looking. I was just looking at the standings.
Exactly. It's hard not to look at Dallas having 15 points.
That never used to be an excuse when I was playing in tournaments. You would never like hang a piece and be like, well, I was busy looking at the wall chart.
That's right.
He should still be able to draw, shouldn't he? This is not yet too worrisome for
Wait, who's going to draw?
Machea. Shouldn't lose. I mean, he hung in exchange, but he shouldn't
Lose. He's got like 6 extra pawns. What? Wait, what just happened?
I guess
Wait,
he could lose,
what's
huh?
going on? He just hung a rook?
Yeah,
No, he just hung his rook.
yeah.
No, don't do that. That's
Yeah.
bad.
Every time I think
Wow.
about the standings and all that
Wow.
kind of stuff, something crazy happens on the board. So
Wow, that was crazy. That
yeah,
was the craziest blunder of the day. Wow.
it was up there.
He hung his rook. Don't do that.
There were some maiden ones. There was F5, was pretty similar. Hikaru versus
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Fine,
Hikaru
she-
showed that guy with F5.
Yeah.
Rawr. Yeah.
So Kangaroos are now only down 1 point in this match. They could still technically draw it. Let's track down their last player.
It's technical. It's technical.
Sarana playing here against Bortnik. Opposite colored bishop's down a pawn. So yeah, he's gonna need a rook hang as well if he's gonna save this match for the Kangaroos. But it looks like the playoff picture will be Kangaroos versus Surfers and Pandas versus Destiny at this point.
I agree with that.
What I'm not sure of, but hopefully someone will tell me in a second, is whether the Destiny get draw odds. Or sorry, whether the Pandas get draw odds against the Destiny.
You're right.
Whether the 2 seed gets draw odds against the 3 seed.
Wait, who's the 2 seed? Chengdu or Dallas?
The 2 seed will be Chengdu because they've got
so they should get the draw odds.
All the game points.
They should get the draw odds.
Again, the Kangaroos got more time. He can hope for a blunder.
You got to hope for something.
Yeah.
It was funny several weeks ago when we were doing the commentary, like Bortnik went 4-0.
Yeah.
And then when I didn't do the commentary, he didn't have a good Super Saturday.
No, he had like 2.5 out of 8 or something.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Pretty painful.
Well, the same thing happened with Yangyi. He like won 1,000 games in a row, and then he had a bad Super Saturday, I think.
Yeah.
These things happen.
It's true.
Super Saturdays are tough when you're on board 1 and you play all board 1s.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
You might not be used
to it.
Some
of those board 1s are pretty good. You got to play Mamedyarov and Hikaru and Caruana. Man, it's a tough board 1.
Yeah.
Magnus Carlsen.
If you're in the East.
Tough board 1 too. Yeah. The only thing that can stop Magnus is F3. Nothing else can stop him.
Yeah. His own intense search for the perfect chess opening.
Exactly. Trying to find an opening they can name after him.
That's true.
So it's good for Black. Doesn't look good for Sarana.
No, it does look better and better for Bortnik.
Yeah, mate. King's coming up. H-pawn strong.
Mate is good.
He's catching up on time.
Yeah, mate is truly good. He played the only move that's
Black's got everything. Will the opposite bishop save the day? Always play bishop F1. Bishop F1, that should be enough.
That did eliminate
anybody.
One of his main problems there. Now he can go back to moving around much more safely for a long time. See if Bortnik will blunder something. Potentially this other game is more interesting here. Mamedyarov against Xu Xiangyu.
The other game is interesting.
I don't know why I was transfixed by those bishops.
Megan Lee and Chu Lushang is also interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Important to scout the fourth boards of these top teams. So see how Chu
It's just the Bortnik game. They both have seconds left. Whoa!
Yeah.
They're both hanging their rook, leading to a draw. Everybody hangs their rook.
That's what we were waiting for.
I mean,
that's
really
why we were watching them move back and forth.
Yeah, what's happening here? Is White better now? King D2, and then Rook E6 check. Yes, Serrano's better now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Serrano's got a couple threats. Now he can win the D pawn. Now he can squeeze.
This is why we were watching the eternal dance of the rook and opposite colored bishop.
Yeah. Now White plays for the win.
Yeah.
Wow.
This game has a certain strange, boring rhythm to it. But now it's actually something.
These guys don't give up. They played over 100 moves. They don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, especially Serrano. I mean, this guy's really pounding out the moves here. Idea is rook E5 to trade.
Man, that's hard to stop. Hard to stop rook E5.
Yeah, there's like a lot of stuff lined up on that. That's a good find.
There we go. Listen,
that's a really good find.
Rook E5 still a draw.
Yeah.
And now we can guarantee the draw. You can guarantee anything you want.
All right. That's good because I was so done with this game. All right. Mamedyarov.
They played 110 moves. That's good.
I hear the ding of a draw offer.
Yep. And it wasn't Dingler in. 2 games left.
A draw for was
So
accepted
Dallas
too.
won in devastating fashion. San Diego wins the Pacific Division with a 9-7 victory.
Yeah.
And
The Osprey win their match against the Kangaroos, but it's not enough to avoid relegation when a tough Seattle Sluggers squad comes out and takes on the Pandas. The Sluggers just need one more draw to beat the Pandas, which is a big achievement. You know, send a message to the number one.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Panda's looking a little vulnerable today. Yangyi wasn't completely off the charts dominant.
Right. So they need a 2-0 here. And it looks it's possible.
Looks like
it's possible.
Yeah. I mean, the Marvelishvili Shang Yu game, what? Is that about equal?
Yeah, but the time's not equal, so it could happen. I mean, White seems like he's doing fine, but 27 seconds to 3 minutes, not so good.
Okay. So
and we got the same at the other board, except the Chinese player has the same issue. She's down 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah. Megan's just played G4, looking to win the pawn on H6.
That looks like a good move.
That could be a problem.
That's a good move. 10 seconds left for Rutong.
10, 9, 8.
This will sell up the match for Seattle if she wins it or even draws.
No matter how long you think that H-pawn's gone. Oh, I thought her plan was G5, but knight comes to D3. Takes, bishop. I think Rutong's in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
I think Megan's looking pretty confident here. She's got a lot of different trumps on her side. She could go rook f5, trade her rooks for the queen. I don't know if it's for sure good enough to win, but it's definitely an advantage for White to play rook f5.
You know, she's taking her time, that's right. With 2 minutes to 11 seconds, it's absolutely right to think a long time. Wow, for some reason, Zhang Yu's pawns disappeared.
Whoa, that was weird.
Yeah, so Marvelishvili is probably winning, but again,
there we go.
Seconds on his clock.
So what happened was he went for h4 for an attack, g4, h3 check, knight d4.
His queen takes knight a draw?
The g-pawn.
He takes g5? Okay, he didn't do that.
Yeah, goes for something else.
I think Black's playing to win because White has 15 seconds left.
Yeah,
so maybe this was a pawn sacrifice.
He's got the h-pawn, he's got tactics. He can go queen a2,
yeah.
He can go knight c2.
This might just be good for Black.
It's hard to see everything coming fast enough and react to it all.
White's going to have a lot of pawns.
And queen e1's going to be mate if he moves his queen away somewhere and avoids the queen trade, right? So.
And f4.
Now knight f3 check is maybe important to keep the king away from your h-pawn.
Then if king f2, then h2. King g2. Looks like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
c7's hanging. I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah, I agree. I see why you're confused. I thought Black was going to keep the queens on the board. Keep looking for tactics. Just going for bishop g1.
Looks good for Black.
Free up the knight. Maneuver something around.
Yeah, now this just wins. And then
now
knight
you're
h1.
going to g3, huh?
Yeah, and you could have played knight e1 to d3 also, but this is the same thing. And he wins. Yep.
And he wins it. All right.
So
It's
Megan
1
needs
point
to
back
save
for
the
the
day.
Pandas.
Yep.
7-8. They're down 1. It's all down to this board 4 matchup where they're not looking, where they weren't.
3 seconds
good.
left. 1 second.
Point.
Wow. Queen g7.
Point. Yeah.
Defense.
All right. That's a good move, Rotong. If she can get queens off the board, the B pawn might matter.
So this is 8-7 right now.
8-7.
Seattle's up 8-7. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a 9-7, 8.5, 7.5, and this match is 8-7. Black needs to win to tie the match.
Megan's thinking it through. Getting kind of low herself. All right, throws a check. No, bishop takes, rook takes c2. Wow. Genius. Megan. Wow. That was a good calculation.
Rook takes f7 check. Yep, she played it.
Nice. She's seeing everything.
And she wins on time.
Got it.
And she wins on time, winning
nice
the match
way to
for
finish,
Seattle.
Seattle. Nice way to
Winning
finish.
the match for Seattle. And she has a winning position also to boot. Seattle wins 9-7.
So that's
what a close
impressive,
match.
9-7.
Avoiding relegation and taking, giving San Diego the win of the division.
3 incredibly close matches today.
And one not close.
That hinged on everything. And then the least close match of all time.
Exactly. Of all time.
In fact, I'm going to do some quick math and guess that the Destiny won their match by more than twice as much as all the other winning margins tonight put together. Perhaps
very nice.
3 times.
Yep. That last minute substitution didn't help.
No. Yeah. 3 times all the other winning margins.
We got playoffs next week, David.
We got playoffs coming up.
Talking playoffs. Playoffs.
Now, I saw something that suggested the playoffs were going to be on Tuesday next week instead of Wednesday.
Yeah.
Can you confirm or deny
have
this?
No clue. I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I'm all talking a badge. I don't know anything.
All right. Well, somebody will tell us while we review.
Greg Shahadi thing.
Someone will tell us while we review the standings here. So first,
that's right.
These are the old standings. Now I'm going to refresh it and see if it magically updates to the final standings. It's only been 7 seconds. What do you think? You think he's done it already, Ben?
Oh, yeah. He's the fastest.
Let's see. Oh, there it is. 7.5, 6.5, 6.5, 5, 4.5, 4.5, 3.5, 1. You did it, Ben. You did it, Greg. You passed Ben's test here.
That's right. I knew he would do it.
Lived up to his expectations of you.
Yep.
So the Surfers win the Pacific Division by a full point. Looked really, really good this week.
Man, when I think of the teams, I think every week San Jose, what a team. Every week I love their lineup.
Yeah.
They couldn't get more points than Australia. They did get more points, but not more match points.
Right.
Wow.
That was close. But yeah,
San Jose looked good.
Kangaroos lose a really close match today. But thanks to San Diego's great performance, that decided everything. San Diego's great performance. It kept Australia in the playoffs ahead of the Hackers. It got them ahead of the Pandas. I guess there they got the help from that really strong Seattle lineup today. And Seattle manages to finish the season very respectably. I mean, you see them in like 6th place out of 8. You might think like, oh, it's kind of like a bottom tier team, but no, 4.5, even on match points, a fair tally of game points, and they looked really strong today.
Yep.
The season just, I don't know, didn't quite go their way.
Yeah, it was a tough league.
Yeah.
Magnus doesn't make it to the playoffs.
And
Hikaru doesn't make it to the playoffs. Man, it's tough.
Such a tough division, right? So Magnus and Hikaru, neither of them makes it. Wesley's not playing this year, so.
And even I didn't make it. I can't believe it.
The winning team this year might not be one of these huge superstar-led teams. It might be one of these more balanced lineups, like what you saw the Surfers running today. You know, 3 dangerous young IMs fighting for every half point.
Yeah.
And one good old timer with some technique, with some serious technique.
Good old Alexey Dreev.
Nice. Well, Dreev had like a nigh MVP level performance for much of the first season. You know, you were playing against him.
He even drew me when he was white. Terrible.
So you remember how good he was doing, or how well he was doing. So, so it's nice to see him lead this team to first place in the Pacific Division and make a good playoff run at it.
All right, guys, don't forget my 12-hour stream on Saturday. Don't forget, in case you forget. If you haven't enough candidates, the candidates start when those guys finish, then you can watch me blunder all my pieces.
So if you forget it, don't forget it for more than 6 or 7 hours, so you can still catch five or 6 hours of it.
Yeah, it'll be on Chess TV the last 4 hours when I'm totally dying.
Once you're
That's
dying.
when they put it on.
Any
I'm
advice
suffering.
for those who want to stream for 12 hours, Ben? Any important preparation they should
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Advice, don't do it. Okay, but
Don't do it.
you have
Yeah.
to assume that anybody who's here watching us is a lunatic kind of the same type as you and I.
Exactly.
So they're going to do it anyway. So what's your advice? Do they need water? Do they need a catheter? What's
Do it. Do
what's
it.
the plan?
Yeah, both would help.
Both would help.
I'm gonna have plenty of tea, so I can do it.
Do you listen to horrible electronic music while you play?
I do not. I have
Thank
no
God.
music. I talk
thank God.
nonstop, and they have to listen to me.
The only music
fate
is the
worse than
sound
death.
is the
Yeah.
sound of angels dying as you pun your way to victory.
Exactly.
Nice.
Well said. Well, congratulations again to David for the new addition to the family last week.
Big winner this week.
Yep,
despite
you're
not
the big
playing.
winner. Yep, good job, David.
Yeah. And
Well done.
thank you,
Everyone,
everybody.
congratulate David in the chat. It's not easy having children. I have 2 of them. I know.
Yeah.
Is that your second, David?
It is. Yeah.
My children are old, but I still remember.
Yeah. You still remember the pain,
I remember the good old days, or the old days, or something.
the good
Yeah.
old days. Yeah.
The something days.
All right. Well, I hope to see everybody next week for the Pacific playoffs then.
Yep.
We'll
See you guys next week.
We'll have these top 4 teams you see here all in action. Surfers, Pandas, Destiny, Kangaroos. Should be super exciting. I have confirmation that the match will be on March 13th, which is a Tuesday.
That's lucky.
So we'll have Kangaroos, the 4th place team, against the Surfers. Should be tough for the Kangaroos based on what we saw from the Surfers today.
It sounds like Gary Kasparov's birthday to me. I'm just guessing.
And that'll be at about 6:30 Pacific that will be starting next week on Tuesday. All right. That's all we got. Everybody, have a great night, and thanks for being with us.
Bye.